evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. We have some special guests here. We have Mr. Bull and Mr. Bear. We haven't seen them in a little while. It's been a crazy market. How about you guys? What do you think? Yeah, Mr. Bull, it was pretty bullish today. Mr. Bear's been there hanging around a lot lately, too. I think you guys have been all over the market. It's been really volatile with Trump and everything else. They just wanted to come in and say hi on a Thursday night. So, Mr. Bull, hopefully you stick around and the market keeps ripping there. So go ahead and take me out, Mr. Bear. There you go. And we'll see you guys later. There you go, Mr. Bull and Mr. Bear. How is everybody this evening? And it was a green market today, looking pretty good. So let's go through, see what's going to be popping. We had some poppers there in the Discord as usual. And all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, non-tennis financial advice. So always do your due diligence and let's rock and roll right through the market. Here we go. That's what the heat map looked like right there. Microsoft running up a little bit and looking pretty good there. Tesla started to move. Meta went crazy. I still don't even know what the news was on Meta, to be completely honest with you. I never even looked. Let me see if I could type it in first, and then we'll look at it. There you go, META, and it was up $34. Look at that thing off the trend line and got ripping right there. So I'm not even exactly sure. Did they even have news today? I mean, there's just a ton of stuff right here, too much for me to go through, and I didn't see anything in particular, but there you go. Meta was ripping and rolling today. And let's look, our SPY, they were up today, and your Qs were up today. They were looking pretty decent as well. They do look like they could come down tomorrow. I'm not going to lie. What is going on here with the mouse? Hold on. All right, there it is. And yeah, they don't look that amazing right here. Let's see what's going on. They are trying to curl up. You have that little bit of a red look. They did jump up there. It's going to be a weird one for tomorrow. And obviously, it's a Friday going into a weekend with a major winter storm coming our way. And a lot of people, there's like 30 states involved in this thing. So it's going to be a pretty big one. Who knows how it affects the markets for Monday? Some people might not even have power. We'll see what happens, but we'll worry about that then. Good evening, Janica. How are you this evening? And let's get rolling right through. We'll see what's going on so that we can hop off and everyone can go prepare for the storm, I guess, and we'll prepare for tomorrow. We did have what? ARM right here. How about that call yesterday? That was a beauty. Ran up. That was over what, 308% was it? I posted this morning. So that was a good popper right there. We looked at a couple this evening. We'll go through, or in the afternoon in the Discord. We'll look at them this evening. We'll go through them all and see what's going on here. So let's get cruising. ONDS. This was volatile today. Holy cow. You want to see a crazy chart, guys? Check this thing out. It was running up. It came right back down. Kind of hung out right there, ran up, and then look at that dip right there at the end of the day, and then tried to get going again. Holy cow, that thing was all over the place right there for ONDS, and I don't even know what happened with it. I guess they had something going on. I'm not even sure what it says, to be honest with you, but it doesn't even look too bad. It is pulling back, but it's trying to curl up right here. We'll see what ONDS has in stock for tomorrow, and that is a communication equipment company right there. Galaxy was down, Bitcoin's down, and we'll look at crypto, but that was obviously pulling back, and that does run a lot with Bitcoin. ASTS running up there. Look at this thing. This looks really good for tomorrow, as a matter of fact, guys, so you can keep an eye on ASTS. That looks like it could be a good play and could be a good momentum one. There was a bunch of them looking really good at the end of the day. It looked like they wanted to run up. UMAC was running today as well, as you can see, and this one looks like it could get moving again tomorrow, so you can keep an eye on UMAC. Unusual Machines looking pretty good right there, and keep on cruising right through here. Redwire wasn't a bad one either. Look at this thing cruising up and looking real good, rolling off that MACD and looking pretty good. So I would say that's a couple of them right there looking really good right off the bat. ASTS, UMAC, Redwire, RKLB. Rocket Lab was down today. I don't even know what happened, but I did see it though. It bounced back up. It was down and touched that 20 and bounced right back up. Look at that bad boy. Look, it ran right up there. I wasn't paying attention to it in the afternoon, and that's what it did. So impressive right there. Rocket Lab running right back up. So a lot of these aerospace and defense, these space ones are starting to rebound again. Let's see. Nuclear didn't look too bad today. That was running up there. That was running around. That looks pretty good to try to run. Look at that thing. NKLR looking pretty good. And Oklo right here. OKLO. That was just kind of hanging out. That could get rolling off the MACD as well. I'm not so sure it does it tomorrow. Nuclear looks a little better. NKLR and SMR looks pretty good right there. So you can keep an eye on that one. That does look pretty good. So there's two more. NKLR and SMR looking pretty good right there. And let's keep on cruising along on our list. And Oklo, we just looked at EOSE, is that electrical equipment one. And that's running up. You do have that resistance up here, so beware at that 1907, but you still have some room to run. And it can get into the top, and then we'll see what happens when it gets into that area right there. But we'll reevaluate it there as it hits that resistance right there. So but it should try to continue to run up there. It does look pretty good. So let's keep on going through and look at iron right here. IREN dipping back a little bit. That could pull back some, and it was down. And that is a capital market one. Has recently run. We'll wait for that setup back again, and then we'll take advantage of it. And critical metals was running up there today and looking really good. This could be another one for tomorrow. CRML, that could be a great play right there for tomorrow. And that is looking pretty good at the moment. MP, that was running up too. I forgot to mention this one today. This was looking real good. There was a lot of them, guys, that were looking great at the end of the day. We were looking at them in the Discord, obviously. Ben was actually on there with us from his vacation, and we were talking about a bunch of good ones. He had mentioned this one, SOC, and this looks really good for tomorrow. It did pull back a little bit in the after hours, nothing crazy that you're going to be concerned about, and that does look really good right there. That's an oil and gas drilling one. Keep your eye on that one too. And MP, so we were talking about that running up right there. And again, that could be a really good one tomorrow to continue its way up. And UAVS, this one, Eagle, AG Eagle computer hardware one. And this looks like after that pullback, it did bottom out there the other day. So UAVS could be a good opportunity right there. RGTI, I thought was looking good right here at the end of the day. And that looks like it wants to run up there tomorrow, guys. So I had mentioned RGTI today in the Discord, and that does look pretty good. Look at that thing trying to curl up there. If it gets up there and through that 50 tomorrow, it's going and running. There's some room right there. It could definitely do it. It looks pretty good, and that's obviously your computer hardware one. That tips us off to look at all the rest of them, QUBT, and that looks good. QBTS is our D wave, and that usually looks the best, and that was looking really good too. So keep an eye on that. QMCO, that's the one we used to have on the list, but I do like having RGTI on there. QMCO right here is setting up, has a little bit of time right there. And then, of course, your QTUM is your Defiance Quantum ETF, and that is up today. It's up even more in the after hours, looking pretty good right there. QSI, Quantum SI Incorporated. That looks really good. Remember, I said that was getting set up the other day, and I would say QSI, that could continue to run up there. So you might want to keep an eye on that one right there. IONQ, hold on, let me type it in there. That was looking pretty good to try to set up. Not as good, I don't think, as RGTI at the moment, but you can see it trying to get set up. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Our cat, wasn't that running around? That certainly was. Look at that bad boy running up there, looking pretty good. And of course, your Z space right here was up a little bit. And again, this one might actually start rolling. Look at that 20 and 50 getting me up. I think that next week or tomorrow could be a really good one right there, guys, for Z space. Keep an eye on it. We might have another run up on that bad boy, and that is your ZSPC right there. So there you go with ZSPC, good old Z space, and we have to buy some. I should definitely buy it since I was like running around just a couple minutes ago with Dougie, and gotta catch my breath, I think. Anyway, Z Space, we should buy it because we've been talking about it. I should definitely own it. I've looked at it for a year. It's definitely down here, and I think it is finally getting set up. Look at that 50 and 20 meeting up, looking pretty good. That's curling up right there. We caught that last pop up on it too. Maybe not. Nah, it wasn't that one. We were looking at that pop up, I think. But we were looking at this thing every single day, and maybe I have to look at this tomorrow or next week because that is starting to look good. Look at that 50 and 20 meeting up. It's curling up, looking pretty good there for your Z space. Let me drink some of my what the heck is it? Himalayan salt in my lemon water. I'm still drinking it. It's like totally normal now. It tastes perfectly good and I like it. And yeah, I drink a ton of it. Good evening there, Doge Mama 9. How are you? And let's continue through our list right here and see what else we have going on. That was, of course, your quantum and computer hardware ones. And let's see, what do we have next? UNH. This was a great momentum play today. Look at this thing running up there over 1%, almost 2% right there. Could continue tomorrow. So let me jot that bad boy down as a momentum play because UNH looking pretty good. What about your open door right here? Let's see. Let's see. Whoop, I got to spell it right. Hold on. Open door. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of just like setting up. I don't think it's going to do anything necessarily tomorrow. So that's what we're looking at, obviously, is for our Friday. So we can look at that next week. It's on our list. So Nasdaq still kind of just pulling back a little bit here. It does have some. Look at this thing. It has these big spike ups. I guess if you catch one of them, you better sell it because it does dip down again, but it is having some crazy spikes right there. I don't know. We'll look at that and keep an eye on it. Hertz was dipping down, hit that resistance right down. Could pull back a little bit right there for Hertz, but it did run up. And finally running up there. We've been looking at it. May take that one off the list. It's not that great. Chipotle right there. Oh, look at that trend line. That's actually a let me blow that chart up right there. But yeah, that's a new trend line right there, looking pretty good for Chipotle, I would say. I mean, we nailed this thing down at the bottom. It's just slowly but surely going up there. So you can keep an eye on that. Not looking bad, especially the new setup. There you go. It's your Cracker Barrel coming down, guys. Now let's see if it still comes down right through this the 20, the 50, and then through the MACD right there, because then it'll land back here, and then we have to see what's going on with it, because then you're going to have a couple different bottoms down here. You almost have like 3 of them already, don't you? Double bottom right there. Look, it says it. Wasn't even looking, but it does say double bottom right there. So, yeah. That thing could be interesting for sure. Cracker Barrel, maybe we catch another pop on it, but I just don't think that it's in great shape. So we'll definitely be looking at Cracker Barrel, keeping that on the list. And Boyle right here pulling back. It did run up early, but it did have a massive run the last few days. Gush just kind of hanging out right there. That's your oil and gas one. And Plug was plugging along right here. Look at that bad boy. That could be a good one for tomorrow. Keep your eye on PLUG right there, electrical equipment ones. They are rocking and rolling right now. QuantumScape is pulling back. Well, it did run up today. I know I saw it up a little bit. And there you go. It was up in the morning and then did pull back there. So QuantumScape was up. That's a setup too. Look, once it gets cruising up here, I think by next week, I think that's a good one. Even keep an eye on it tomorrow for QS. That could be a really good one there. But it's definitely getting set up. We can see that happening. Rocket Mortgage right here, Zach. I don't know if you're ready to jump in it just yet. Well, I would wait until next week with that one. But there you go. I put it on the list, and there you are down in the 21s. And I did say when it was all the way up here in the 24s, it may come back down to the 22s, and it came back into the 21s. So there you go with that bad boy, and that's RKT and IMRX right here. Looking good, guys. I must say, this pancreatic cancer drug is looking nice. Obviously, has resistance right there. And Zach, no problem, definitely called it to a T. And we even played it up there for that second little swing. I said to even be careful on that, but you got that extra little play. And then I was definitely concerned that it was coming back down. And I think we did nail that to a T. That's pretty awesome. So there you go. And hopefully Zach traded it to a T right there, and he probably would have done really well because I know he's been in it for a while. IMRX, though, holy cow, look at this progressive G. This thing's looking great. We should have known this was just going to run right back up immediately. Like I keep telling you guys, that info that they have, or that whatever they have, the pancreatic cancer medicine that they have is impressive. I'm telling you right now. And I would say this thing's going to run up. That was a huge dip. It was a huge overreaction, clearly. and this is going to look really good right there for IMRX and SoCal Electric. We'll check out SMCI. We always look at it. I'll look at it in a few. And let's see what Lucid is doing right here. Let me take a look and see. Lucid was jumping up yesterday, jumping up a little bit this morning, and then pulled back right there. Doesn't look too bad, just kind of flat. I'd have to look at it tomorrow, to be completely honest, but it was a good run up the last 2 days. Rich Tech Robotics was good this morning. It looked really healthy. It ran up first thing this morning. We nailed it. I said this thing was looking good, and then it did pull back. So it wasn't a bad trade. I'm not going to lie. I mean, that there, when it opened up to there, was really good action right there. But I guess you definitely had to sell it at the top right there. And I'll tell you what, I was locking in profits today. This market's been all over the place, crazy volatile. So if you're up on something and you're up good, be sure to lock in those profits. You can always reevaluate it, rebuy it, of course. You know you'll probably get a better opportunity real soon. Let's put it that way. That's how crazy the market's been. But there's your Rich Tech Robotics. It was running up there. Galt was looking good. And there you go. Like I said yesterday, that was looking pretty nice. And it did run up like 11%. Now you're hitting that 20. And here we go. So we called that one to a T too there, Zach. So GALT. There you go with Galt, and that is Mr. Joseph Levy's buddy right there. He likes this one. It's hitting that 20, but that was a good 11% move right there. We did nail that. And let's see what the rest of our list is doing. Fun laptop travel. There you go. It was having more fun today. So there you are with that one. That one was looking good. That one should try to continue its way up towards this $20, almost 21 area for fun. Play wasn't really playing too well today, and it was down a little bit. It did spike up early. It's still in the top. I'd have to look at it tomorrow going into a weekend. I don't know if I'd be playing it or holding it, that's for sure. But I am playing this one's one of them, ASPI, and it's moving in the after hours. This had a good look. I did get some options at the end of the day on this bad boy. It's already up a little bit. I can see 2.5%. That's nice. And so, yeah, I got a few options on this guy right here. Your 20 and 50 are meeting up. I've been trading this actually the last few days, and it's been pretty good. I've been nailing it, and there we go. So hopefully tomorrow's a big pop on it. That would be sweet. So there you go with ASPI, and that could definitely be a good potential tomorrow. Let me see what. A USAR. This was good laptop travel today. This one ran up pretty well. I mean, we were talking about it. It ran up. I've been trading this one as well. And then we were talking about it right here. We said it was going to go up a little bit more. I know because I jumped in some. And I actually got right out of it, like right here. I didn't hold it into the afternoon, and I guess it was. I didn't even look at it. It did run up a little bit more, but it didn't really matter. It wasn't anything crazy, so that wasn't bad. And I've been trading this one, UAMY, and this one was pretty good there today. Spiked up, pulled back, and then ran up at the end of the day. This one could continue to run up there tomorrow as well. UAMY, look at it trying to get into the top. So there you go with that. And you know I was early on that one as well. And let's see what UUUU is doing, Luis Rodriguez. This is your energy fuels. Don't confuse it with UUU, which is our universal safety, which, of course, our Michael Anthony likes. I almost called him Michelangelo. I don't know why. He's a Ninja Turtle now. That's hilarious. But Michael Anthony, I've just never even thought of that. But Michael Anthony, I almost called Michelangelo. And so there we go. And how far out am I doing my options? Seems like I kind of changed them bad boys, and I went early with these guys. I actually did the weeklies, and so obviously these ones expire tomorrow, laptop travel. So that's all I was doing, and I didn't even want to go long with anything. I was playing the pops, and that's it. A couple of them, like a matter of fact, that SMCI. What one did I have today? Even ARM. I had ARM going out like I don't think I had today's expiration. I think I had next week. So most of them I generally put like a week or so, at least a week or two. But the ones going in the Friday, I might just go in and maybe just do one of them. I think in the future, just play a little bit at the end of the week right there. If I see something I like today, it looked crazy though. At the end of the day, I think I got a little excited, bought a couple of them, but hopefully they'll all pan out. They're all up right now in the after hours, so I guess I can't complain about that, and I'll definitely be locking them in. But yeah, I have been doing a little different. And so, was it a 23rd? Oh, it was today. I don't even remember laptop travel, but some of them I do buy. Yeah, you're right. I did buy that one. You're absolutely right. I did buy that just for the quick swing overnight. I said that too. But I'll be honest, most of them I buy um like a week or two out, and then I actually just sell it anyway on the pop. But I do usually give myself a little more time. I just didn't do it with this week. I did kind of tight ones, I guess. I did all weekly ones, trading with Rhett, and they've been panning out pretty well. And you know what we should have done, and I called this one pretty well too on the earnings. Intel went way down. I even said I didn't like it. I missed Netflix there, obviously, which we caught the bounce and it looked good yesterday, but obviously didn't catch the right play on it on earnings. But yeah, Intel, I should have played a put on it because honestly, I didn't like it. It was hitting that resistance. I was saying not to play it. And INTC did dip right there in the earning, and it's been running up pretty big right there. So yeah, there you go with Intel. And you know what, laptop travel, we should do another option show, Luis Rodriguez as well. Let's put one together and do another one because I think we've all changed a little bit. Luis Rodriguez does a lot of leaps, a lot of longer ones, but I've definitely been doing them all over the place now, guys. And like I said, in the Discord, I'll be posting them right at the end of the day. And I was pointing out today, laptop travel at the end of the day. Why I do that, and you could see exactly the reasoning behind it. And I was doing it a little too early today, and obviously they pulled back just a hair, but they went up in the after hours, and that's why I wait until like the last 5 minutes generally until the market, why the market's closing at like 3:55. But I have to do it a little bit earlier so I can post them in the Discord. So that's why I started. But next week I got it down now. I'll probably start like really looking and posting them at like 3:45 and getting into them right around there just so people know. That's about the last 10 minutes of the by the time I type it and send it out. It takes me forever for whatever reason. But anyway, I will put them all in there for everybody, and everybody can go crazy. And yeah, we'll hit some 308%. I had a bunch of them this week that were huge hits. I mean, all over 100% for the most part. There was a couple that were 50s and 40% and a 60%er, which is still pretty good for overnighters. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I did pretty well with a lot of them. Look, Plug is plugging away right there. So, yeah, we'll have to do another one. And again, I posted the other day if anybody had any questions about options. So I was already thinking about doing another option show or doing some options information because I feel like you can it's pretty easy now. I definitely understand it. I still don't understand what any of the prices or any of that stuff means. Like it's kind of bizarre, but it doesn't even matter. None of them things even matter, to be honest with you. You just got to know where your calls and your puts are and where you want to buy them at and like how far out. And then again, we can even explain a little more in detail if you want to go weekly. Like if you know that thing's going to pop tomorrow and you're very confident, like I've been with some of these laptop travel, that's why I'm doing it, to be honest with you. And maybe I'm getting cocky, I don't know, but I've been pretty good with them, and that's why I was doing the weekly ones, because I knew I was getting out tomorrow morning. And again, maybe with these 4 o'clock plays, laptop travel, it's going to be one of them things where I do the weekly ones, and if the next morning they don't pop like crazy, we just get right out of them, and it's really it'll be pretty much a wash as long as they don't really dip down hard. So maybe that's something that we look at. But yeah, we'll get way into them more in the Discord, even on my side of it, obviously. And my picks next week, I was crushing them this week, and I was putting them out there. And again, I do it so late usually. I usually buy them at 3:58, and I was pointing it out in the Discord. If anybody was on there today in the afternoon, you could see the reason why I was showing everybody why and talking about it. But so it's just a little way that I have, a nice style that I have that I've picked up, and I'm telling you, I generally do my best when I do that. So I'm like, why am I not sticking to that? And let's do it for the entire year. I guarantee we'll destroy the market between that. I mean, if you can hit calls on the night before, and again, you're not going to do it every single night, but it'll be pretty consistent, like 3 nights a week usually. Fridays you won't do it, obviously, over the weekend. But yeah, between Monday and Thursday, probably 3 of them days, you'll have pretty good setups. At least one. That's all you need. You just need one play. We're not looking for three anyway. We're just looking for one solid play that you know is going to go up that next morning, and that's it. And it has that look like it's going to pop. Sometimes it'll be MU, ARM, them guys I look at, gold. Gold's probably one right now. Talking about gold, let's look at it. It does look beautiful right here. I jumped in some of these Goro laptop travels, so we'll see what happens with this tomorrow if it can get rocking and rolling right there. But gold is a good play right there, and look at that. That's up 1% in the after hours. So I was actually looking at that and was saying, oh, that could be a really good one. So yeah, it could even be gold or silver, something like that. Maybe if we know something's coming down, we do a put on it. So something along them lines. But yeah, if we can absolutely now a great call going into the every single night, right at the end of the day, going in for the next day. That's how you start your day. And again, I sold ARM immediately at the beginning. It ran up a little bit right here. I'll show you exactly. It ran up a tiny bit more. I'm not going to lie. It ran up to here. I sold it right up here. And I was talking about it on the Discord. I saw that big spiking candle, that big red wick one. I was like, all right, I'm done. And then it pulled back. I was like, that was good. It ran up a little bit. I even said, once I sell it, it'll run up a little bit more. It's all good. It did. And then look at that. It came down for the rest of the day. So, yeah, I'm fine. Lock them in right at the beginning of the day. You don't even have to worry about it. No stress, nothing. And that was what, like 7-8% or so. It was like, well, it was like 7 or 8% up from this thing right here. It was 308% on the option that I nailed to this morning. It went up a little bit more, but again, we're not worrying about that, guys. That's peanuts right there compared to what we just hit it for. So there's Michelangelo right there. I called you Michelangelo, Michael Anthony. I almost called you Michelangelo for some reason. I have no idea why, but there you go. You know, I used to have a pet rabbit, and his name was Mikey, and he was named my daughter named him. We had him when she was young, and he lived in the house. I think I talked about him before. He was an awesome pet. I had him trained so well, guys. This rabbit, he was an albino, like he was just pure white rabbit. I rescued him, as a matter of fact. He was so well trained. I used to just let him out on my deck, and I'd go out and do like yard work, and he would just be hanging out on the deck. And then when I called him to come in the house, he would just come hopping in the house. He was pretty awesome. And so yeah, his name was Mikey, and it was after Michelangelo, because my daughter loved the Ninja Turtles at that time. But so yeah, I almost called you Michelangelo, but I never really thought about that before. Your name is very close to Michelangelo there, Michael Anthony. So anyway, how about that arm this morning there, Michael Anthony? That was looking good. That's Sensei Zach. That's looking real good, huh? We'll look at it in a few. Give me a moment. Let's just rip right through the rest of these. I forget where I even was. So let me figure that out, and we'll go right through. I'll go through the messages. But yeah, that's all we need to do, guys. I'm telling you, one good call. And we won't force them either. If I don't see anything I like, I'll just tell you guys, look, I don't think I like anything. And again, it might be gold or silver. And their calls are great. I've been playing them as well. I never used to play them, but Ben plays like everything. So I started playing different things recently, and I think that's where I started playing different timelines on the options laptop travel. And so yeah, like some of these I was really confident in that were going up, and I knew I was selling. I was just doing weeklies. I never did weeklies before, or zero DTEs or anything like that in my life. You know that. And I've even traded the Qs. I traded the Qs today and nailed them. They actually went up higher. I nailed that one quick spike up, and it was perfectly fine. And it pulled back and ran up even higher, which was all good. But yeah, that was a good little spike up that I caught. So yeah, I've been trading different methods as well. So I guess you kind of adapt to what your style can be. And so yeah, that's what we give everybody, a little opportunity in the Discord for everything. So there you are with that. Let's keep on cruising through and see what the rest of this market's up to. We were just looking at your 4Us, Michael Anthony, and I actually did. That's how I know that where we were. because I said don't confuse this with your universal safety right there. So here is your energy fuels. That looks really good. That could continue to go up tomorrow, Luis Rodriguez. That's looking pretty good right there. And let's see, LMT, Lockheed Martin. Look at that ripping up there, guys. That'll probably continue up tomorrow. Fly. This one's going to be a good one, I think. Oh, we should have been looking at this today. I wasn't paying attention to this one, guys. Let me write it down. That one might be a good one to get options on laptop travel for like a month or two out right here. Let's look at them. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if they have them, but they definitely do right there. There's next week. So they have them pretty weekly right there. And what do I usually do? 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I went down one extra one for some reason. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I thought so. I usually go like right around there and pick like the 31s. There's not a whole lot of action going on right there. But again, I usually would go out that far. Let's just see what the action is going on around here tomorrow. Nothing crazy. Is anything next week? Because I could see this thing getting flying here. A little bit of action right there. Let me see the week after that in February. Nothing crazy there. So, yeah, that's nothing wild. But I do think this one, Firefly, I think is a great opportunity. I think it's way down here. It's obviously new. And when it started, it was at like $75 or something ridiculous, right? What was it at? Yeah, like $73.80 it got up to. And now you're like half the price. And it is looking really good. I do think we have to keep an eye on this Fly. I think that one's going to be a great one. Space is a great sector right here, guys. So I think it has its opportunity. We should definitely be watching that. It does look pretty good for tomorrow. CELH, Celius Holdings, I think could be coming down right here. Maybe if you want to put one down, check out that. And ARM we were talking about was pretty strong today. I did talk about it. I did sell the option. Laptop Travel reminded me I bought a weekly one, but he was absolutely right. I forgot, but yeah, he's right. I definitely did because I knew it was going to pop, and I'll sell it in the morning. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing the weeklies on the ones that I think are going to be popping for sure. Obviously, you're never going to be 100%. You guys know that, but we'll be pretty accurate on these things. And I think if we play them pretty selectively and only go into one of them and don't get too crazy, we'll nail them. And then we go right in from that, right into the rest of the trading for the day. And you can have yourself a field day in that Discord. Even start at 4 a.m. with Laptop Travel. He's been nailing some huge calls too. So it's just around the clock, guys, that we just rip and roll right through that Discord and have a good time in there. So here is your AMPX. Here's another one we've been talking about, and that one's not looking bad right there. That started to run back up there at the end of the day as well, looking pretty good for that electrical equipment. And like I said, that whole sector looks pretty good right now. And Fubo, it's just kind of hanging out here, not looking so good at the moment. It started looking good today. It tried to run up, and then all of a sudden it did pull back. It does have some weak candle action right there. Nothing real crazy with Fubo. So we'll see. We thought maybe they'd get that deal. It looked like they did have some kind of news, but I think it was just like cleaning up their sheets and stuff, their financial sheets. But yeah, it's not looking beautiful unless they get news there tomorrow. So let's see what else is happening over here. How about Amaze? Anyone play this one? This one was pretty amazing today, up 20%. And looks like it could go up more there. Doge Mama 9, did you jump in that one there? That was a good one right there. That was pretty sweet. And definitely talked about that one last night. Actually added it to the list because it looked good. So there you go. And Can right here. This one just kind of hanging out. I do think this one's going to get set up. This Can right here, computer hardware one. So keep an eye on that. Could get rolling off right there. So there you go with CAN. And let me see. We're Meta Planet right here, Luis Rodriguez. Let's see what MTPLF is up to right here. Pulling back. Again, this one's probably going to run with your Bitcoin. That's why we're not even going to waste our time on ABTC and all these because, look, they're not even doing anything down here right now. And that's Pew, and you could just go through them and look, and BM&R is pulling back. So that's why we're just kind of skipping right over them, and I added them to the side of the list. And when Bitcoin gets rolling and crypto gets rolling, we'll definitely take a look at them. Mimi right here, though. Doge Mama 9 was up a little bit today. It does look a little bit better there, trying to get through that 20, trying to get up there. So we'll see what it wants to do there. Tomorrow on a Friday, maybe it gets a pop, but maybe it's a next weeker, and we'll keep an eye on that. MOBX, the same similar situation right here. I think we are waiting for that trend line right here, and then that's going to be one of them poppers, guys. So we're just going to keep that right there on the list. And here's that Neuro One Medical Technologies. That's NMTC, a little bit of pullback to the 20. Nothing real crazy. We'll see if it wants to pull back to that 50, though. And then it'll probably be a real good opportunity for it to bounce up. So we'll be watching for that. And Wolf right here did pull back some more. I thought that was trying to get rocking and rolling. We'll see tomorrow. That could be a dip and rip right there, guys. So WOLF, Wolf Speed, maybe it gets up to Wolf Speed. Maybe not tomorrow, but maybe next week. That'll look a lot better for us. So I want to keep that on the list right there. What is this one? FMCF? Is it, or did I write it down? Isn't it FMFC? I wrote it down wrong. That's why I was like, well, it didn't look right to me. Anyway, I did write it down wrong. It's FMFC right there. That's what it was supposed to be. And that one we were talking about the other day, it did run up a little bit. It's just kind of hanging out. Not too bad right there. And that's your FMFC. And Nick's right here looking a lot better. Like I said, look at this thing getting rolling, guys. That's that one that Stock Authority have been talking about. And that is going to get cruising. So I think we did finally discover the bottom and soar right here. Look at this. This could get soaring, guys. Look at that. That might be your bottom right there. And soar, SOAR, could get rocking and rolling. What do you know about this laptop travel? You like SOAR right there? Volato Group, Airports and Air Services, because you probably know a lot about that. I know you know about Grab, and this is looking pretty good. You might want to look at some of these to grab. Let's look at the options on this thing. What's it at? 455 right there. Obviously, we're not buying tomorrow, so let's go out. You'd have to go out. These have weeklies too. Let's just go out and see what next week's are. 4,000 right there at 5. And let's just cruise right down and see a little bit of volume right there. Laptop. Do you own all these laptop travel? I know you got a bunch of this Grab right here. Is this all you? Oh, there we go. Now we're talking. I knew there was a huge interest somewhere. I remember Laptop Travel talking about it. And this must have been the day right here, 2020. Holy cow. What am I talking about? 220.26 right there. Look at $6 at $8. Look, $8, you got 65,000. $6, you got 65,000 open interest right there. That's pretty wild. What's going on right there? I know this is your baby right here. Grab. That's why I'm asking you. So, are we looking at this thing for February 20th, Laptop Travel? Is there something big going on here? That's the question, because that thing is looking pretty good, I must say. It's getting set up right now, and that's a huge interest right there on February 20th. So I would say let's keep our eye on this Grab right here, GRAB. Let's look at them options. Now, that might be one to keep an eye in on for, like I said, like a 6-week period or so, because that one could be great. And it is big investors, Uber and Toyota Motor right there. And it's like Uber in Singapore, right? Laptop Travel. Didn't you use it? Haven't you used their services before? Pretty sure you did say that you used it, or you definitely know what it is. I know that. But anyway, there you go with Grab. So you might want to look at grabbing some of them bad boys, because they're not looking too bad there. We were talking about SOC, Sable Offshore. Like I said, Ben had mentioned this one today, and he's on vacation and looking really good right there. A little pullback in the after hours, nothing real crazy, I'll be honest. So that could get cruising. SOC, and I have some options for that for tomorrow as well. So that is looking pretty good right there. You can take a look at that. How about VMAR right here, up 20 cents? And that one recently, oh, that looks pretty good right there. I do like that VMAR. That's a good one. So you might want to keep an eye on that. That is getting set up. That's going to be one of them runners for tomorrow as well. VMAR, let me jot this one down. A lot of great ones for tomorrow, that's for sure. At least that's what it looks like. Sometimes the market can fake you out, that's for sure, but it does look pretty good. And Grab introducing FSD Robotaxi in Singapore coming. You use Grab all the time, waiting for Robotaxi in Singapore. Then Hong Kong, Taiwan, and more will be one of the first to ride or something like that. Anyway, yeah, Laptop Travels used Grab, and so he's familiar with the company over there. Anyway, Michael Anthony or Michelangelo, we meant to start calling you Michelangelo. That would be great. And like, picture you as like a teenage mutant ninja turtle or something. That would be great. But anyway, Michael Anthony, let's look at your couple right here, ABEO, and let's see what's going on. ABEO not looking too bad. That's getting set up right there, and not sure it pops crazy tomorrow, Michael Anthony, but it might look good for next week. DLO right here, D local. That is looking a little better. Didn't you mention that last night? Looking better, Michael Anthony, and that LW pulled back, but it ran up in the after hours. Look at that. There you go. It's running back up right there. I did sell my options on this. You guys are well aware of that. And it did run up. So we'll keep an eye on good old Lamb Weston, I couldn't think of the name. And that's LW, and UEC is Uranium Energy Corp, and it's still running up 5%, Michael Anthony. So that was a good one right there. You did call that one out pretty early. So there you go with your list. And let's look at the Jolie's jams. I've reached out to Asian Jolie. I think Laptop Travel has several times as well, and we haven't heard anything. So I hope everything's okay with her. Maybe she just retired and didn't tell us. I have no idea, but I just hope everything's all good with Asian Jolie. And here's our rhythm, and we're going to continue to do our Jolie's jams. And here's your rhythm right here. It's not back in the rhythm. It was just kind of up today, but nothing real crazy right there. And then, of course, your blink charging was up today. Now, that looks like it's getting back into the rhythm right now. That could get moving right there for blink, BLNK. Good old blink charging looking pretty good. And Sezzle, that's a great one right here, pulling back. Had some pullback, I should say, and watch this thing when it gets set up and gets back here. I think it rock and rolls right off of that trend line. So definitely keep an eye on that. Check out the open interest for grab leap calls. Wow, that far? Hold on. I got to go back and look at that in a minute there, Luis Rodriguez. Sterling right here is up. And remember, this one was running pretty big. It didn't run huge today. I did look at it. As a matter of fact, it wasn't doing anything too crazy. And Rivian right here, this could get moving relatively soon. That looks like it's bottoming out right there and could get cruising. And how about Symbiotic right there? And that is trying to crawl up. I don't know if it gets really flying tomorrow, but it definitely could get set up there for the near future. So you can play that one accordingly. And that's SYM. And you're saying grab in 2020. Oops. In what? In December 17th, 2027. Holy cow. That's like probably the last time that they even offer these things. Let me see. No, this one right here. Did you say the 17th? Isn't that what you said? I don't even know. Yep, that's what you said. This day. So they had one right after that. Let's see what these options look like, guys. Holy cow. What? 104,000 right there at $7. That's crazy. What the heck? What is going on with this thing? And then these leaves, look at these. I'd say people like grab, guys. What do you think? Home. Did you see this one, Luis Rodriguez? Wow, this one got them all beat. That's January 15th of next year. And holy crap, look at that. Dude, that's over $250,000 right there at $10. Holy cow. That's pretty wild, guys. And that's not just one person, I don't think. Maybe it is. I have no idea, to be honest with you. I don't look at that stuff, but let's just keep on looking because these things have a lot of open interest right here. That's for sure. That's a pretty big day there right before my birthday this year. Yeah, let's do it. Let's play. I'll make everyone buy me grab options for my birthday. My birthday's the day after this one. We'll sell them on my birthday. We'll sell them the day before. How about that? Anyway, that's got a good amount too. So yeah, I would say a lot of interest in this grab right here, guys. So you might want to look at grabbing some of these. And again, you could probably grab these to go out a little further. You can see how much is getting grabbed up way out of the time zone there. So there you go. Let's look at our laptop travel list right here. I'll cruise right through. And I didn't even know Bird was a, when I wrote it down, I was like, they really have Bird as a stock ticker. I had no idea. I didn't look at it either. I was like, I can't wait to look at this thing. I had no idea. All Birds. Is that what it says? All Birds? I got to see this website right here. Let's see. Look at that. Oh, it's a All Birds Wildly Comfortable made from mature or made from nature. Holy cow. If I could only read, it would help. But anyway, it is a apparel company, it said right there, and I had no idea what bird was. So is it new? No, I've never heard of this thing. I don't think. I would think that I'd remember the stock ticker BIRD bird. I don't remember this thing. Anyway, it does look good there. Laptop travel bird could go fly in there. That's for sure. And CLGN coal plant, that one's getting set up. As a matter of fact, not looking bad there. And your EDSA. So here's probably a bunch of good ones. This one's in the channel. The other two are looking a little bit better at the moment. GLMD right there. Galmed. Oh, that doesn't look bad. That could get spiking up there. I see it pulling back there in the after hours, but 89 right there. That could be in play. So you could take a look at that one right there. GLMD. We're familiar with that one. HCWB right there is HCW Biologics. All right. Yeah, that's what it says. And there you go. That's curling up pretty decent as well. And let's see what the next one you have on the list is. That Leslie one, right? Yeah, Leslie's. And again, that's my sister's name. As a matter, I gotta get her to come over and just do her little spiel. It's so funny, guys. I'll need a haircut in like a week or so. So probably after the snowstorm, I'll get her to come over and we'll get her to do it. And so yeah, Leslie's looking pretty good right here. That looks like it's about to run up. Has a lot of room right there up to 233 laptop travel. So that looks pretty good. MBRX. Let's see what Molkin or whatever the heck it's called. Not too bad. A little flat, but not too bad right there. And MBIO right now, Mustang Bio. I couldn't think of the name of that. I wrote it down and I was like, I know we've looked at this thing 100 times and I don't remember what the heck it is. MBIO. I didn't look it up either. It was Mustang Bio. That's what the heck it was. I couldn't think of it. I forgot actually, but when I was writing them down, I couldn't think of it. I was like, damn, I know that one. I couldn't think Mustang Bio. Allbirds, Janica loves their shoes, really comfortable. So there you go. If anybody's interested in some comfortable shoes and women's apparel, they do have men's stuff. Let's look at Allbirds, see what's going there. There's a commercial for Bird, never saw it before, but here we go. Let's take a look and see what's going on. What the heck is that? Anyway, let me see. Here's some new arrivals, some men's and women's. There, that's interesting look right there. And they're best sellers right there. Let's see. Let's see what the heck they have here. Let's see what their best sellers are. We'll look at men's first, and then we'll look at the women's. Let's see. These are the men's. They almost look like kind of like Skechers or like them real lightweight ones or something like that. And let's see, waterproof, huh? That's pretty good. That says men's wool cruiser waterproof. Are these all waterproof? I guess not. These three are waterproof right there, I guess. These are interesting looking shoes, I must say. You said they're really comfortable. They're Janica. Let's look at the women's and see what's happening on this side. And there you go. They look almost similar. I'm not going to lie, except for like that one. But that looks like the similar one. A lot of these look kind of similar, but there you are. And Janica says they're comfortable. So if you're interested in some Allbird shoes, I've never heard of the company. I'm not going to lie. So yeah, I'm not even sure where they sell. Do they sell these things in stores or are they just online only? I have no idea. That's an interesting looking women's shoe right there. What is it called? Women's Breezer Mary Jane. Can you like hide joints in that thing? Is that why it's called that? I have to look at this thing now. Like, do they have some special pockets in this? Like, I don't know why they call it Mary Jane. It just seems kind of odd to me. Anyway, I don't see anything wild with it. So there you go with Allbirds, and that's an apparel company. So yeah, I'm not even familiar. I've never seen it before. Pretty interesting. You never know what you're going to find out and learn on this show or see what we look at. I don't even know what the hell we're going to look at most of the time. I just go along, go with the flow. I don't even know what's going on half the time. I just do a show. I sit down and I do a show. That's all I can tell you guys. Anyway, let's have some more fun. And that is Allbird right there. So BIRD, I lost my spot. And Endura right here, or Endura, that's what it is. Endura, NDRA right there. NDRA, that we used to look at this too all the time. That actually looks really good. It did dip down there in the after hours, so I don't like that look. Whoa. It did look really good there until the after hours spiked and hit it. I mean, then it dipped down. Allbirds started from a guy in New Zealand, and they have 33 stores, online and stores. Huh? That's so interesting. I've never heard of the company in my life. So I guess we all learned something new. At least I did. So anyway, there you go with Allbirds, and I may have to check out their shoes and see what they have. A comfy pair of shoes, according to Janica. So, in Laptop Travel, headquarters are from San Francisco. SFO, where the heck is that? I have no idea what SFO is, to be honest with you. But anyway, let me cruise right through your Onco right here and see what's going on. That NDRA is looking good. Onco not bad either. I bet this is a good one next week. Oh, NDRA was dipping in the after hours. I forgot. So we'd have to look at that tomorrow. And let me see what else. OR's KT. That's that orange cloud. Yep, I remember that. Now that looks good right there. Orange cloud. Look at this thing. I remember doing trading this guy as well. ORKT. That's looking pretty good. And I have no idea what I wrote down for the next one. I think it's an SNTI if yeah, there you go. Senti Bioscience. Look at that. And that does look pretty good there running up today, Laptop Travel. So there's some good ones right there. And SSKN, Strataskin Sciences, not looking bad right there. Probably a good one for next week. And good old Swag right here, Strand and Company, advertising agency. Now that looks good to try to roll off that MACD and pop off of there. I would say this one could have some swag tomorrow, as a matter of fact, if you want to check that out right there. And TOPP, you wrote down this one, Top Point Holdings. We can go back to TOP, but this is Top Point Holdings. This is TOPP. Not bad. And let me just see. I clicked on that. And what is it? Top Financial. That's not doing anything either right there. And how about that VSME is versus media right there? Recently reverse split. And let's see what it's up to. Not looking too bad, guys. I would say that versus media. We looked at this not too long ago, and that does look good. I kind of remember saying that it was going to reverse split. And now it looks like it's going to go popping. So there you go with that. And there you are with your Laptop Travel list. And let's keep on cruising along this evening and see what else is going on. We'll just run right through our Mag 7 SPY, big caps, all them. We can do that list relatively quickly, obviously. And then I'll go through and see what you guys want to see Michael Anthony has in store, because you know he'll start lighting it up. And of course, SoCal Electric wants to see SMCI. We're about to look at it, as a matter of fact. So we'll look at that right now. And then everything else you guys want to look at, Janica, Laptop Travel, Luis Rodriguez just posted a little list right there, and everybody else. So, and Doge Mama 9 did not play Amaze this time, but she did play it last time. I do remember it was pretty amazing, and she had a big run up, but that was pretty. It may run up tomorrow morning, the Doge Mama 9, so keep an eye on it. I did buy some Mimi, not a whole lot, but I bought some, and it just has that look like that could get spiking, maybe because that looked like it bottomed out right there, but we'll see what it wants to do. Mint Inc., I don't even know what they do. Laptop Travel, these guys are probably engineering and building Laptop Travel's house right now, as a matter of fact. Do you know Mimi Group right there? Did you fire these guys recently, Laptop Travel? Is that the company that you had to fire? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, that's Mimi right there, Mint Inc., and we'll keep an eye on that. Is looking pretty good. Let's cruise right through, see what's going on here. How about SPY and the key? You said you wish. And yeah, there you go. And SPY right there is, like I said, it's up. It doesn't look beautiful for tomorrow, but it is up. I think we'd have to wait until tomorrow to get a better judgment on it, to be completely honest with you. That looks a little bit better than the FinViz, but still doesn't look perfect. But I'm not saying that it's going to like go like crazy up tomorrow or crazy down. Could be just like one of these flat days. I don't know. We don't have many of them around anymore with Trump in office. So we'll see what happens, but I can't promise you anything either way. That looks like it wants to run up off of the chart, but then obviously it could do anything in the pre-market there. Let's look at the futures. I didn't even look at them, and we know that they're accurate on here. So let's go ahead and check out and see our Dow. Yeah, they're almost like flat right here. Look at that. It's barely up. So yeah, they're kind of flat, to be honest with you. And that's that look that I'm seeing. and the S&P right there. I mean, they're up a little bit. Don't get me wrong, it's better than being down a little bit, that's for sure. But at the same time, they're just a little bit flat right there. So we'll be keeping an eye on that stuff in the morning. And that's what they look like. How about the VIX, though? What was that up to over here? Has like a dark green kind of look, and nah, it doesn't look like it's going to spike tomorrow. Maybe for next week it tries to roll up, and I'm not even sure about that. I'd have to see it tomorrow, to be honest with you, to see what it wants to do right there. UVXY was down today and pulling back there, so that's what they look like. Let's go ahead and keep on cruising. IWM was up, was looking pretty good, like I said, and it isn't to the top. And I thought this looked better than the Qs and the SPY the other day. It did run up pretty well. So there you go with that one. And we'll have to see that one tomorrow too. But let's take a look. Apple right here. I think that one's bottoming out. Luis Rodriguez finally. I thought it was trying to set up here, as a matter of fact. Then you took a nice dip. So this could be a good opportunity right there for Apple. And then Amazon was up a little bit, but nothing real crazy. Just kind of has a weird look at it right here. Yeah, I think tomorrow it doesn't go and do anything real crazy, but I think it does get set up, and that's why I was like stuttering. I don't think it's exactly ready just yet, but I do think it could get ready. And so Google right here, not looking too bad. That's getting set up as well. So I think we have a nice setup plan for next week, it looks like. And Meta right here was running big. Anyone know what happened here? I still don't know what even happened with Meta. And like I said, it has way too much news for me to try to sort through it and figure anything out. I can't even read any of this. It's just way too much information and blue letters. I can't even see any of them. Anyway, there you are, 34. It was up pretty big today, and I just have no idea what happened to Meta, Laptop Travel, or anybody else that knows. Let me know. And Microsoft right here, I think, is bottoming out, and I think that one could get cruising too, guys. So you might want to keep an eye on that. Microsoft right there looking pretty good, I must say. Yeah, I think that got bottomed out. And again, that one you might want to buy a couple weeks out as well, because it could bounce around for a little bit, but when it runs, it's going to run and pop up big right there. So there you go with Microsoft. And NVIDIA right here. That's not NVIDIA by no means. That's NVIDIA right there. And that one just has a setup. Tesla looking pretty good right here, though. And it was running up. It's trying to get through that 20 right there. Got through the 50. And Tesla trying to crawl through the MACD. It is looking pretty good. So keep an eye on good old Tesla. And that does has its own mind of its own. It just does whatever it wants, whenever it wants. And if the market goes down, Tesla can run up. It doesn't even matter. And you hired the very reputable firm of Pablo and his brother, who we do at Hawk Construction Company. That's hilarious. Laptop Travel. That's who Laptop Travel hired. They are a very reputable firm right there. So if you need any work done, they do it all construction. And I think, did they do it all wrong construction? That's what it should be, Laptop Travel, because I know you did have to fire somebody. That was pretty wild. AMC right here is up. Not looking too bad. GameStop was running pretty well today with Ryan Cohen buying another 500,000 shares right there. So he keeps buying 500,000 shares and add into his portfolio, I guess. So there you go. He loves it. And they're gone and under investigation by the regulations committee. And they mess with the wrong Laptop Travel right there, I would say. And GameStop right here, that is moving up. I know we were talking about that this morning there, Laptop Travel. Chewy, not bad right there. Could get moving again. Unity doing the same thing. It was what they were both up 14 cents. Look at that. Unity and Chewy both up 14 cents the end of the day. Neither of them look like they're going to blast off tomorrow. Let's put it that way. And here is your Netflix. It was down a little bit today. Maybe it tries to pop up tomorrow. I think it'll have to set up a little bit after that earnings pullback. And then we'll get that one running up. But people played it yesterday off the bounce, and that was a good bounce play yesterday. And let's look at some semiconductors right here. AVGO, let's see. Oh, that's a little pullback, but that's in an interesting spot right there, guys. If that pulls down, it could fall down pretty well. Let's see, AVGO. Hold on. Yeah, that's interesting right there. We have to keep an eye on that bad boy. That one could dip down. MU has a mind of its own. It just keeps running. Play the dips on this thing, guys. I would say, look at this thing right here. We were talking about it in the Discord. Look at that. It dipped down this morning. Look at that buy right there. 377. You're at 384 right now. I mean, that's insane, guys. That's literally insane, going up $20 like that in like 2 hours. Like, it wasn't even a problem. So buy the dips on that, I'd say, and keep an eye on it. MU. TSM right here was up a little bit, but doesn't look beautiful, I'm going to say. So we'll have to look at that one tomorrow. And here you go. Who was asking about this? I have to go back and look real quick. Hold on. Let me see. It was somebody different. Holy cow, I can't even find it. Oh, there it is. SoCal Electric. That's who it was. Here you go. Hope you're paying attention. SoCal Electric. Here's your SMCI. That's what you were asking about. And it did run up a little bit today. It looks like it was running up a little bit in the after hours. I nailed this thing the other day. It did run up some more, obviously, but I just got in and out real quick. And it is looking pretty decent, but I'll be honest with you there, SoCal. It could have a little bit of pullback there tomorrow as it gets set up. I think another one for next week, to be honest with you. So I do think next week could be a great one for that. And it could be a good week. Didn't Trump just say that the stock market's going to double like real soon? And the market's looking pretty good. Like I keep telling you, these things are all setting up for next week for some crazy reason. Maybe that real soon was like a week away. I have no idea. You know, with him, you have no clue what's going on. I don't even know if he has a clue, but he just throws shit out there and somehow it sticks, I think. I don't even know. AMD right here was pulling back in the after hours right there. Running up today. 20 and 50 meeting. That could still pop up there tomorrow, even though it's bouncing down. Maybe that's a good little pullback right there. We'll look at AMD in the morning. You guys know that. QCOM right here, if I spell it right, this one could get rolling. You could see it trying to get set up in another one for like next week, guys. So you might want to keep an eye on that for next week as well. And that snow right here, that's going to be coming down all over the East Coast, all over the place, but it's going up on SNOW right there. Snowflake is looking good. I played that one, last week was it, or 2 weeks ago? I played that pop-up right there, I remember. And now it's looking pretty good again. Maybe we look at snow. It looks like it's setting up right there. So you can keep an eye on SNOW, and we'll watch that tomorrow right there. And then you guys will be seeing more snow coming down. This one going up all weekend. It's going to be crazy there, Michael Anthony. Even in Florida, it's going to be cold, I think, everywhere. Georgia, all over the place. Here's PayPal going up. Maybe that finally did bottom out and going to go up. I mean, it would be impressive, but it needs to, honestly. So, excuse me. But there's PayPal looking a lot better this evening. And Intel, like I said it in the Discord. I definitely didn't like it in the after hours. I didn't like it going into the earnings. I wish I would have played this one better than I had played Netflix or played this and didn't play Netflix, because I would have put this one down and Netflix was in the basement and it actually went down into the dungeon. But yeah, here's Intel right here, dipping down after a big run up on earnings. And I forget what Red even said the earnings were. Dell, look at this bad boy, guys. I think Dell gets set up and gets flying, guys. So keep an eye on that one. And there's so many good ones. You can only pick out so many. IBM pulling back a little right there. Palantir and Sophie right here, they were up a little bit. They still don't even look that good, but you can see they were up a little bit right there, but nothing that I'm concerned about. Mara and Riot, nothing crazy right here either with crypto. So you don't got to worry about these. CleanSpark was up right there, but it is trying to set up CleanSpark. Interesting look right there. MicroStrategy, and I think CleanSpark, aren't they doing some AI stuff now or something? I don't even know, but I think they are. And whatever they are, the data centers or whatever. But anyway, nothing crazy. There's a lot of other looks out there that look a lot better. Robinhood right here was up a little bit, but nothing crazy there. Coinbase down. Bull was looking pretty good and was trying to move. So we'll see if Bull can finally get bullish there. Space up a little bit, like I've been saying. That's getting set up, guys. So keep an eye on SPCE. That's going to get moving. And let's see what Boeing did today. It was up just a little bit. Nothing crazy. It's been running up there, though. DJT, nice little setup right there. be careful. You do have that resistance up here, right in that 1510 area. But it is looking pretty good for DJT, at least at the moment. We'll look at that tomorrow and see what's going on. Nike right here, that one was up, and that's looking okay right there. And McDonald's was up a little bit, trying to bounce up. That's trying to crawl up, not looking too bad. What about your Disney right here, Luis Rodriguez? Holy cow! Why can't I type in Disney? There you go. That's going to set up bullish in like a week or so. When your family goes to Disney, it should be popping there. They should have some fireworks going off for you guys. We already looked at Nike. I'm going backward here. Oxy right there. That was down a little bit. Exxon Mobil. Let me see what that's doing. That was just kind of hanging out. And DXYZ. Let's see what that's doing. Destiny Tech 100. And that's not looking too bad to get set up right there. So we'll keep an eye on that. And let's go through and see what you guys want to look at now. Let me take a look and see. EONR and Indo right there. Doge Mama 9. Let's see what they're up to. EONR right here. Oh, that looks really good. You're right. That one looks pretty good. I'd keep an eye on that. I like that one for a penny stock right there. Good eye right there. Doge Mama 9 and Indo, I know, has been ran recently just the other day. And it is trying to run. Oh, yeah. Look at that bad boy. I remember it spiked up here. And that is looking really good. I'd say that oil and gas one is looking pretty nice right there. Let's put it that way. And I remember this thing, it was like crazy high up at one point. I don't know what happened to it, but it did run like massively. And it's always been like down here. And at one point, it ran up like crazy. Don't ask me why. Guess oil and gas was hot commodity back then. That's for sure. Anyway, both of them looking good, Doge Mama 9, and let's see what Data Volt's doing. There you go. What did we say last night? Maybe that was bottoming out there, and that one's popping up, looking great for Data Volt too. Wow, great find right there. Glad you saw that. That did pop up there. Good one. Definitely looking real nice for Data Volt, and I would say keep an eye on that tomorrow there, guys. Yeah, that could spike up some more right there. That could run up with no problem, Datavol. We've played it multiple times already, and it is looking pretty good. How about that Direct Digital Holdings laptop travel? Another recent reverse splitter running up there. It's up $1 in the after hours, looking pretty good. DRCT. I would say that might be a good runner at 4 a.m. for you 4 a.m. warriors. So keep an eye on that. And Goro, here you go with this gold one. We did get some options on this one as well. So we'll see if this can get rolling there tomorrow and if it can pop up on gold. And that is GORO. And USAR right here is the USA Rare Earths. And it was running up pretty good today. We were talking about it. That's looking good. And silver, not too bad. And I was talking about silver and gold, and they both look pretty good right there. So there you are with silver and gold, and them other ones looking good. And let's see what else is going on. SoCal, I hope you heard the SMCI. We went over that. XTini, let's see, Applied right there. Good evening. And let's see what Applied is up to. That is a PLD, Applied Digital Corp. And let's see, that's just pulling back a little bit. It looks like it's going to pull back a little bit more possibly tomorrow. And then it does look like it's coming in to easily go off of that MACD there. Maybe it pulls back, has a nice little dip tomorrow. I'll write it down here for the morning, and I'll see what's going on with Applied Digital Corp. I know it recently ran up. This thing used to run up with crypto also. I've traded this one, I told you, like 2-3 years ago, I think. And it's been a little while, but yeah, I know back here I was trading this thing like big spike ups, I remember. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about now. But I do think you could have a little bit of pullback right there on Applied. So just watch for some pullback, and then we'll reevaluate. Maybe you come back down to your 20, maybe even your 50 right there. But I would assume your 20 could pull back, and then we have to see if it wants to roll off that MACD. It looks like it wants to. It's going to be tough because tomorrow it wants to, and then it's going into a weekend. So I'll look at it, though, for sure in the morning and let you know what I think. XTini, so there you are with Applied. And RGC, let's look. Remember that monster of a run this thing had? It ran up today there. Whoa, look at that bad boy. It wants to run again. RGC. That might have a momentum play right there. Laptop travel for tomorrow, so you can keep an eye on that. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Guess I'm getting tired at the end of the week. I almost needed to yawn there. Major biotech accomplishments. Love what they do, and one of the few Hong Kong stocks you have faith in for future price appreciation. And as of January 22nd this year, the market cap stands around 10 to 13 billion, with shares trading over 22. So there you go with RGC. And yeah, that could definitely have a little momentum there. Fun was a great pick for the community. I agree. And ASPI, there you are. What options do you buy? I bought the expiration for tomorrow as well. I did all short ones there. Laptop travel, like I was saying. I don't know if we were talking about it, but I am gonna bet that I bought the 850s right there at for tomorrow's expiration. So there's a lot of interest right there. Not a whole lot, but some at 9 and a little right there. But yeah, I got some at 850, and we'll see what it wants to do. It did go up a little in the after hours right there. It's looking pretty good to spike up, and I have been trading this thing pretty much for like a week or so. So there you go, ASPI, and they were the ones that I got. I posted it out in the Discord, as a matter of fact. Laptop travel. I posted it on my page. So, and again, let's possibly. We'll talk, me, Laptop Travel, and Luis Rodriguez will discuss maybe doing another option show for everybody and fine-tune the options for everybody for the beginning of the year now, since we've been rocking and rolling through the Discord, that's for sure. And you guys seen, I forgot, I'm not going to lie, I forgot how to post the percentages. And instead of asking somebody, I just kept trying to figure it out every day until Sam posted one. And I just like messaged him real quick. And I said, yo, Sam, how the heck do you do that? And he was like, oh, just push that little icon in the top right corner, and then it'll come right up. And I was like, that's how you do it. I forgot. I did know how to do it before, and I forgot. So yeah, that's why I started posting them again. I had forgotten how to do it. But yeah, so we're just gonna rip and roll right through every day, like I was saying earlier, with options and calls. And honestly, if we skip one day a week because nothing's set up, that's not a big deal. But we're not going to force anything. But we will definitely rock and roll with some good option calls, and we've been doing pretty well so far. And that arm did have a expiration of tomorrow, and again, I sold that first thing this morning. REMX right here. This thing's just been a monster, Luis Rodriguez. Ever since you talked about it, it's gone up. Let's put it that way. And Lulu jumping up here. Maybe that's a good opportunity right there for Lulu. J-Nug went nutty. I was going to talk about these, J-Nug and Nug. Thanks for reminding me. They went crazy. Look at Nug right there. So they both went crazy right there. They look pretty good for tomorrow, so keep an eye on that. ANET is Arista Networks. That did spike up pretty good today. Not sure what it wants to do there tomorrow. And Datadog running up there. And there you go. We were talking about that spiking up there today, and it certainly did. Adobe's been beat down for a while. Is it finally going to run on? Adobe could be a great one, guys, to set up. Keep an eye on that one right there. Adobe, that could be a good one going forward. And your arm right here, my arm, your arm, the strong arm right here. Let's see. It is hitting that 50. We'll see what it wants to do tomorrow. Again, I sold that option today, and that was a 308%. So we'll try to nail some more of them tomorrow. And of course, next week we're going to nail a whole lot of them. And here's Pan American Silver Corp. It's a gold one, and this is flying right there. That looks really good. PAAS. I know I've seen it, but not really familiar with it. And Trade Desk was up today. I did see that one, and that's trying to curl up as well. Let's keep an eye on that. I did see this HCTI. It took a big dip. I think it spiked up and then dipped. Yeah. I actually saw this today, too. Look at that. It was spiking up in the pre-market, I guess, and then dipped down. We'll keep an eye on this bad boy. They announced something at 8:15, I guess, but I'm not sure what the heck it is. And so there you go with that healthcare triangle. How about FIG? I saw that's so funny that you posted that, Luis Rodriguez, because Michael Anthony posted it too this evening. I saw him, right, Fig? You guys posted it at the same time last time too. That's so bizarre. And look at Fig, guys. Wow, that is looking good. Here's your Figment right here. I was calling it Figment, that purple dinosaur at Disney, right? And isn't that what that was? And yeah, that's looking pretty good, I must say. That's a nice dip down and crawl up right there. So I think we get cruising on FIG. Fig right there, looking good. And yeah, that is looking good, I must say. And I wish figs were in season right now. We actually bought a container of them. They were the worst figs ever. My daughter loves them, and I love them too. They're really good, but holy cow, we had to stop buying them this winter because they were just disgusting. We got like this 2 containers, and they were like god awful. We had to just throw them out to the animals. We were like, all right, here you go, squirrels and birds, enjoy. We can't even take a bite of it. Yeah, I went in there and like bit one, like opened it up and ate it. I was like, what the heck is that? I couldn't get the taste out of my mouth. It was terrible. And it was a brand new container and they weren't bad. I don't know what was going on. But anyway, that's Fig, another reference for Fig. Figment, Fig and all that stuff. Anyway, here's your nano energy right here. NNE looking pretty decent as well. We've been talking about that, and nuclear right here, and of course Oklo and all them guys. SMR's looking pretty good for tomorrow, as you can see. And path right here, it was on a beaten path, and now it got back on the right path there, Luis Rodriguez, for another one to set up. PATH. So there you go. And let's see what else is going on. BGL, what is that one? That's definitely not the bread one. That's Blue Gold Corp. That's a Blue Gold LTD. That's another gold one right there. That looks really good. Barrick Mining right here. That's up. That's like bullish right there. So you can keep an eye on that one. Barrick Mining not looking bad. Which one? Hold on. Let me see real quick. Holy cow. Excuse me. Let me see. Austin, that's the one I was thinking. AUST. I couldn't think of it, but it's the one I was thinking of. AUST. This is another good gold one right there. If you want to keep an eye on some gold ones, plug looking pretty good right there. So keep an eye on that. And let's see. How do I feel about buying at 9:30 and running intraday option plays? I don't mind that either. Laptop travel. I do like to do that and catch the real quick swings, but I also like to get out of them quick because I think that you can catch another opportunity when they dip down. I think around like 10:50, between 10 and 11, a lot of times you can see what the market wants to do, or catch like a bottom that's going to run up to a top, and it does it like real quick before the afternoon even happens. So I like that too right there. So I have been playing some of them. That's how I played USAR and UAMY a couple times this week. They were pretty good like that. So yeah, not I definitely been trading way more options and different ways than I did before. I think I'm learning more, I guess. That's what it comes down to. And PSQH, that was a roller coaster. We haven't looked at it, but let's see. Oh wow, look at that thing. Spiked up, came down again. That's one of the Trump company ones, and that's that's their allowance money right there. Pump and dump right there. And Intel did miss and lower the outlook right there, Michael Anthony. And but it might be a buy to dip. And Zach, let's look at Sensei right here. And SNSC Sensei Biotherapeutics, and that one's ripping up there, not looking bad. You're hitting some resistance right there, and it has to crawl through. Let me see what happens right here when we look at Sensei. Oh man, that one does look pretty good. Zach, that one's a tough one right there. It's jumped up in the after hours, so it's right through that. It's up here right there. Now that might be cruising in the morning. So SNSC, Zach, laptop travel. You guys might want to keep an eye on that one. That's for sure. That one's not looking bad for 4 a.m. run up right there. FHN, what is that? That First Horizon. And you said, look at the $27 February 20th calls. Let's see what kind of action this one has. February 20th. Let's go over there. And $20 action, you said? Or 27, I'm sorry. Oh my, look at that, 105,000 right there. There's even 50,000 at $30. So, like, what do people know about these things? That's what I'm always interested. Now that Luis Rodriguez has pointed this out to me, I always have to look at this open interest because it seems like it's pretty dead on the money. I mean, not every time, but the money seems to know what's happening. A majority of the time, we'll put it that way. So it is very interesting right there. We'll have to keep an eye on that FHN as it gets into approaches that. Microsoft does look like it's bottoming out. MDBX, let's see what that's doing right here. MDBX, that's looking pretty good. MDB, that's at Mongo, isn't it? MDB is Mongo. Yeah, this Mongo right here. That looks pretty damn good, I must say. MDBX looking pretty good right there. And that's an ETF. Was that a two-timer? MDBX, let me see. Yeah, it's a two-timer right there. That could be a good one for sure. Luis Rodriguez, that critical metals was clearly running up. I was super early on that one and gave you guys that. And no Amaze, we are looking at Mimi. Amaze did go amazing today, though, that's for sure. And let's see that you beat out the U. We didn't even look at his U. It was up 36 cents, 7% right there. Oh, look at that. Energy fuel is a little higher, up 8%. Wow, Michael Anthony. And but yours was up a little bit for your smoke detectors right there. And there you go. I would say you still looks better going into tomorrow, guys. That's what I think right there. And Grab right here, like I said, you might want to look at grabbing some of these bad boys. They are looking pretty good. If I could type it in, holy cow, let me just click on it. I can't seem to type it. But Grab looking good down here. Maybe you want to wait until next week and see if you get a better price, but we were talking about that. Uber and Toyota Motor are investors in that, and they basically are like the Uber in Singapore. Yeah. So there you go. And let's see what else. And then, guys, there was like, this was crazy. You're right, Luis Rodriguez. This was insane right here. Look at that open interest right there. That's pretty wild in open interest. But that, what was the other one? That 20th or something? Was it this one? No, what was it? I forget what the heck it was. One of them had a whole lot of them. I forget where it was, to be honest with you. I really don't remember. But something had a bunch. I don't remember, guys. Oh, yeah, it was this one. The 220 right there. That one had a lot of craziness. Anyway, there you go with Grab. That's what it looks like right there. And let's see what else is going on over here with our market and what you guys want to look at. Let me see. That is Grab right there. So we'll be looking at grabbing some of them. And all birds, we were looking at BIRD, and we actually looked at the website, and they do look like they have some comfy shoes. According to Janica, she said they do have some comfortable shoes. So you can check that out. Here's the website right there if you want to look at it. We're already looking at it. So if you, in case you just tuned in and missed the fun earlier, that's what we were doing, looking at all birds. And headquarters, I still don't know what SFO is. That's the airport code for San Francisco. Well, thank you, Laptop Travel. I had no idea. Did I say San Francisco though? But then I saw that and I was like completely thrown off. Let's see what Watt's up to right here, Luis Rodriguez. And that does look good, hitting a little resistance, but I think you get right through it tomorrow and it tries to bounce up a little higher. And UAI, New Era Energy or something, spiking up in the top, not looking bad. What about WeBuy right here? That's look at WeBuy. That could get cruising. Look at that bad boy. That's getting to be in a good spot. Nice pop up there today, and it could continue tomorrow. And if it doesn't, if it just has a little pullback, I would say next week would be a great one for it. So keep an eye on WeBuy right there. How about Rhyme right here, Algorithm Holdings or something? And that one's not looking bad, spiking up 33% right there. And there's your Data Vault again, and that is looking really good, I must say. Fuel Cell. There we go with Fuel Cell. Oh, look at that one's been running up. Haven't been looking at that at all, FCEL, but there you go. That one's looking pretty good. And let me see what else is going on. Why would you think Netflix going up? NFLX is that's not even Netflix. NFLX is what it is actually there. Michael Anthony. And why? Because it's in the basement right here. That's why I thought it was going to go up right there. It was just in the basement. That was my pure technical analysis of it. I said, well, it doesn't usually have a lot of back-to-back red earnings, and then it's already in the basement, so it should try to go up, but it didn't. So there you go. That's what happened, Michael Anthony, but it is going to get set up to run, that's for sure. And let's see, SLM right here. I definitely made up for it though on ARM, so it didn't really matter. I'll put it that way. So it's all good. Can't call them all perfectly. Just make up for it on the next one. That's all. And then smash that one out of the park like ARM for 308%. And then you don't even worry about what Netflix did. You're like, oh, well, that didn't matter. I played it the wrong way, and it's all good. I thought maybe it could just bounce out of that basement. You know, as soon as it expires, the expiration, it'll go pop in there. That happens to me pretty often, too. I'm not going to lie. SLM right here. Let's see. They had some news tonight or something. What is going on? Or they reported something. I have no idea what the heck they're talking about, but a $500 million share repurchase. So let's see what this bad boy's doing because it's jumping up right there for SLM Corp. And let's see. Yeah, that looks like it could continue to go up there. Luis Rodriguez in the morning. We were looking at FIG already there. Michael Anthony, and it is looking good. Let's see what he said here. The opening hour of the evening session suggests that Friday may see less exuberant action with S&P E-minis flat and Nasdaq 100 down a decimal. And then he said cautious, and I'll write that up there. And then cautious sentiment could emanate from, you definitely had to have used your, he used his AI for this, guys. We have to know that. Cautious sentiment could emanate from the tech space as shares of Intel fell over 12% after Q4 results. So thank you, Michael Anthony. And even though the stock has already had a very impressive 47% year-to-date run, and so, yeah, there you go. Michael Anthony using his AI right there. He's using the old Luis Rodriguez, Michael Anthony AI that we built. And so it's perfect, Michael Anthony. It works out great. And how do I like SLM earnings? I don't even know. What the heck happened to the earnings today? It does say something. I guess you're going to make me read this, huh? Net income of $233 million. They authorized the $500 million share repurchase. Calls, issues, guidance of 270 to 280 EPS, 12 to 14%, private loan, origination growth, and 750 to 780 million non-interest expenses, while unveiling a $2 billion private credit partnership expected to shift about 30% of new originations to loan sales. Whatever that means, Michael Anthony, I have no idea. And so you're asking me what I think of it, and I still have no idea. How's that for your SLM earnings there, Michael Anthony? I don't have a clue, to be completely honest with you. I'm not going to lie, but I really don't know. I guess they were good. It's green right there. It sounds like it was pretty good. And it looks like the numbers are high up here. And so that's about all I know. So I have no idea there, Michael Anthony. I couldn't tell you. But anyway, markets could sell off since it is a weekend with traders worry about more BS from Trump over the weekend. I agree. We looked at that Sensei, definitely looking pretty good right there. And Michael Anthony, do not ask that question ever of Dougie. What do you think of earnings? Yeah, he never looks. When's he going to learn that, guys? Oh, look at FinViz hopping on here. What's up, FinViz? How are you guys? And lots of interesting stocks and companies in this live stream. Oh, we look at everything, FinViz. You got to know that. And we're always looking at your charts for sure. I do use TrendSpider, but I use you guys all the time. And guys, FinViz, I forgot to post this yesterday, the day before, and the day before that. Thank you for the futures. I did reach out to you guys and asked if you could put the futures on. You guys are so amazing. I'm telling you, everything I've ever asked of, you guys are just absolutely incredible. Just like really just making it happen, taking the suggestions and like taking my feedback, picking my brain about it and saying, what are you looking at? And yeah, you guys respond right back, ask questions about it, and then make it happen, guys. So look at this. I mean, they made the futures happen, and obviously we were the most excited about when they started charting from 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. That was a huge one. When you guys changed that, it was like you guys went crazy, went all out, and just sort of like, all right, let's revamp everything here. And it was awesome. So props to FinViz all the time, and I appreciate FinViz because they always give me good props too, and they always give credit where credit's due. I'm a big fan of that. I never try to take credit if you're not trying to if you weren't the one thinking about it. I give credit to everybody. And so yeah, FinViz, they always tip their hat to me, and I greatly appreciate it. But I also greatly appreciate everything you guys have done. I've been looking at FinViz. I never knew. I've been looking at it since you guys started, really, in like 08 or 07 or back then. I've been looking at stock charts that long, and to be able to talk to you guys and you guys actually take my feedback and then implement it is pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie, and then actually tip your hat to me and hop on the feeds and everything else. So I greatly appreciate it. They listen to all the feedback. Yeah, no, you guys always listen to the feedback. 2007, exactly. There you go. Yeah, I've been looking at charts for like 25 years. I remember when this site came out, guys. I was so impressed because, again, I didn't know what a scanner was. I had no idea what any of this stuff was. I tell you, I was like kind of just online. There was only a couple of people really doing it back then, like that dude Jason Bond, couple guys. I'm telling you, wasn't a whole lot. They are definitely the originals, FinViz. And I just remembered this thing was absolutely incredible when I remember finding the site. And then I'll tell you what made the biggest difference ever, FinViz. And I'm not going to lie, and I point it out because I talk about it and I hop in here all the time. This most active one, I still to this day, FinViz, you don't even know. I've built all kinds of charts, scanners, everything else I've done. I don't know why I clicked that. I meant to hit the charts. Everything else, I can never figure out what any of your algorithms are, and I guess I'm just going to give up on it because I just can't figure them out, and they're your priority or they're yours, and you guys have something incredible, obviously. But yeah, I'm telling you what, you guys, when you like these things right here, I'm telling you, like the most active right here, your unusual volume, you guys know in the morning, I always look at these two. You can find a lot of beautiful setups right there. And I mean, there's pages of it. It's just absolutely insane. And so FinViz, before I really started to get into scanners and stuff, I tell the story all the time. Since you guys are on here, I'll tell you this right here, FinViz. This is interesting. Ready? And I talk about it often. And I've actually showed people with me doing it in the morning. So I would set this up, FinViz. I would set this up, and you can set the amount of charts that you want up on a page. I forget, it's up here if you do the filters and all that good stuff. But anyway, I would make sure there was like at least all these, like at least like 5-6 rows of 3. So you have at least 15, 18, 20, something like that. And then this is how I would scan charts in the morning, guys. And literally, I would go through all these pages. So you could see there's all these pages down here, 9 of them. And I would sit there and just literally, guys, you guys have seen me do it plenty of time. You've watched me do it for sectors, but I would just go like this, like that in the morning and scan through thousands of charts and pick out the one that was going to run 100%, especially in the penny stock world. And I'll be honest with you, most of them came from that most active tab right there. That was the money tab right there. It still is. You guys see, I go in there and that is the money one. So yeah, most active, great insight right there. It's a beautiful feature. But again, when I first learned about this and back in 07, and I was looking at charts, and I used to just look at these things as a hobby, guys, and I wasn't really necessarily trading all these times. I always wanted to figure out how to catch the 100% popper. So imagine when I finally conquered the market after like how many years, 20 plus years. of doing this. Now there's a lot of shortcuts. I took the long way to do it. There wasn't that many people teaching people like we are today. And you have all these things going on. FinViz is like doing all kinds of crazy things. Everyone's doing X Spaces shows and all kinds of good stuff. There's a lot of great things out there. I'm not the only one. There's a ton of great people. We talk about it. I mean, look, Ben, story trading, laptop travel. There's a lot of great people out there all over the place. You guys know I always give credit. I talk about it. Stock Authority throws me stock tickers or asks me to look at something. I tell them, yeah, I'm putting it on the list, and I'll make sure that, I tell people, hey, this person sent it over to me. I can't see them all, but there's a million great setups. As a matter of fact, Luis Rodriguez sent ARM to me yesterday, and I said, wow, that looks beautiful. And so FinViz with your charts and TrendSpider, we look at these things, and then ARM yesterday, I sent it out. That was a 308% option call overnight, real quick. So yeah, I'm telling you, it's we do incredible things, but I've been doing it for so long, and like I was getting back to FinViz, like I said, I hadn't always traded. I really got into the trading more recently. You guys know I talk about all this stuff all the time and tell you my background, but I was more fascinated about how to actually pick 100%ers. I don't know why. I was just fascinated with it, and I tell you guys all the time, if someone ever told me I was on the spectrum back then or now, I wouldn't doubt it. That's for sure. I had this weird thing with patterns and stuff, and I could pick them out, and I've been that way for my entire life. So this just made sense to me. And I'm telling you, like, I wasn't a drinker. I tell you, I'm a cannabis guy. So my buddies would be going to bars. If I wasn't hosting an event from the I Love Roadhead thing, or actually going to make money, or like hosting like a beer pong tournament or something that I was making money off of, I probably wasn't going to the bar because I didn't really drink that much, and I just didn't care about it. So I would actually sit home on a Friday night and just look at stock charts. And it was bizarre to me, actually, but it paid off, that's for sure. And yeah, that's what I actually I just did it as a hobby. I just was always trying to figure them out. And then finally, I told you, I was like, well, I could pick these things out. And then I started to see, obviously, you guys know, I'll call out world events and stuff. And you can see that stuff based off of certain sectors and charts, and then I'd call them things out. And like I tell you guys, I would tell my buddies, I would tell Rich Davis from Cavino and Rich, and them guys were just like, during COVID, like, yo, you got to start doing this stuff online. And that's when I started posting things. So yeah, I was always already doing these things for years and years and years, and calling out 100%ers for years and years and years. And then I kept track of them for a couple years. I actually stopped this year. Didn't really care anymore. I've called so many 100%. I was calling, guy. There's years. I have them all posted out there. There's a couple years where I called over 80 in a year. I mean, there's only 52 weeks, so you're talking way more than one on average, more than one a week. And I think there was like 113 the 1 year. It's insane. And you guys know we can call them out nonstop. And that was always with penny stocks. And I explained, I was a big penny stock trader. I used to trade them. That's where I made a good amount of money before. And then I kind of changed my style as the market kind of changed. And I changed as well. And so I pivoted with everything. And so yeah, with the markets opening at 4 a.m. FinViz, this is how this all happened. I was doing this show, and the markets were just bizarre at 4 a.m. I mean, it was like things I had never seen before. I wasn't even set up on. I recently just started trading on Webull, which I think is the greatest platform, and they allow you to trade at that 4 a.m. So what was the stock ticker? I'm trying to think. Laptop Travel, that one that went to like $4 to $125. We were just talking about it the other day, and you and Low Country Profits nailed it. I can't think of it. It'll come to me. Laptop Travel will post it up. But anyway, this is when I really started to realize that 4 a.m. was something crazy. We picked out, now I'm doing these shows in the morning at 7 a.m. and I'm coming on, and the market's already running, and these things are running like hundreds of percent. It's like absolutely bizarre. What is it? TNON. That's what it is. Laptop Travel right here. 10 and this guy right here. So one morning, one night, we're talking about it. It's me, Laptop Travel, and Low Country Profits. And we're talking about this thing. And I say to them, they can both have Webull and they can both trade at 4 a.m. I, at this point, don't even have it set up. So I have I'm not doing it. I'm not trading. I say to them, yo, this thing's gonna pop. And I bought a few shares. I bought some in the account, but I couldn't trade it at 4 a.m. So I tell both of them, they load the boat on this thing. I'm like, yo, this thing's going to go nuts. I don't know what the hell's going on with it. I didn't realize it was going to do what it did. But I say, yo, this thing's going to get crazy. I don't know what's happening, but I bet it goes wild in the morning. So they load the boat. And I bought some shares. So at 4 a.m., my phone's going off because this thing from 4 to 4:15, it runs from $4 to $125 in 15 minutes, like the snap of a finger, guys. Like I'd never seen anything like it before. I was sitting there and I'm a penny stock trader and I'm like, this is crazy. So now I'm sitting at this thing and this thing jumps up to $125. These guys are jumping out of it, making crazy profit. And I'm sitting here with E-Trade shares and I can't do anything because I can't trade them. So then the market comes back around 7 a.m. and I wake up to do the show because I'm already up and I do the show at 7 a.m. We hop on. And now this thing at 7 a.m. when you can actually trade in the extended hours comes all the way down to $15, which was still good because it was at $4. And I made that jump from 4 to 15, which was a good pop. Don't get me wrong. But that was the day I realized that 4 a.m. was absolutely bonkers and had something special going on. And that's where I was like, wow, we got to pay attention to this. And our assumption is that people are trading like overseas at this time because it's not the West Coast. It's not the East Coast. They're not trading that early. The West Coast wouldn't be doing it at the end of the night. So it seems like it's coming from overseas and people are using different IP addresses and accounts that you can obviously trade in the US and you just have volume like you've never seen before. And that's when I was like, wow, this is absolutely bonkers. And I think this market's actually changing as we're watching it right here. And we've watched it change, obviously, since that point. But yeah, 4 a.m. is crazy, guys. So we have a whole thing. Laptop Travel does 4 a.m. Warriors. He goes in there and just absolutely destroys it, gives out like multi-100%ers all the time. And they run crazy at 4 a.m. So if you're just tuning in and you want to be a part of that and check out Laptop Travel, he's in our Discord. We do the Discord together in the story trade, and you can check out the links in our bios. And yeah, feel free to check it out. Any questions, you can always DM me and I respond to everybody. So feel free if you ever have questions. But yeah, getting back to FinViz, I've been looking at it for that long since you guys put up the website. And that's how it all started. And again, I greatly appreciate that's how the whole 4 a.m. thing started, guys. And I just had realized that 4 a.m. was something totally different now. And now we're going to enter 24/7 trading. And I was kind of saying that to you guys as we talked about the futures. And you were like, and you guys had messaged back. You're like, don't we already have them up there? And I go, well, they're up there, but they're not exactly live like that. And within a week and a half, guys, they were up there live like that. So there you go. And what's our favorite feature? So yeah, anybody else wants to post anything up here about FinViz, let us know. They're obviously listening and hanging out tonight, and we greatly appreciate it. So yeah, that's my story about FinViz, and I greatly appreciate you guys. Like I said, you guys are awesome. So I appreciate it, and you guys do take all the feedback. So anyone ever has any questions or feedback for them, feel free to reach out to them. They are amazing, guys. So it is awesome. And yeah, you guys are great. Thanks for posting that out for me, FinViz, and all the new people tuning in. We do this show every night at 8 p.m. So if you just want to hang out forever, and we do it at 8 p.m. We go through an entire list, and I write it out, I post it out, I tweet it out, and put it on Stock Twits every night. And you guys can post. If anybody paying attention or listening wants to see any stock charts, just put them up in the feed right there. We'll go through. We just went through all the messages, and then I saw FinViz hop on. I was all excited, so started talking about FinViz there. But I'll go back through the messages and see what we have to look at. But yeah, we just did an entire show, broke down everything, the market. I'll actually go through a little recap right here, tell you the ones that we thought were good for everybody. And we do this every night, like I said, at 8 p.m. And then we do a morning show at 7 a.m. pre-market. We tear it apart, guys. And that's, again, what I was talking about. That 4 a.m., that dust is just settling. So if you're into the 4 a.m. trading, our Laptop Travel, he kills it at 4 a.m., just absolutely murders it in there. And then 7 a.m., I hop on and then we check out the market, see how the dust settles after that 4 a.m. because it's like an explosion took place. And then we check it out and see what's going to be happening in the market going forward for that day. And then I actually hop on in the Discord right around 9:15, and we do live trading throughout the morning and have a great time. So yeah, let's check it out. Oh, rares. We've been all over them, guys. And as a matter of fact, this one right here is looking great for tomorrow to go up. I've been trading and gave out UAMY, UAMY right here. Oh, I typed it in wrong, but this one right here, United States Anatomy. This one we've been trading like all week. I had this one going in. And also, what was the other one? That USAR one. This United States, USA Rare Earths. Another great one. Critical metals. We were super early on this. I had options on this bad boy. I actually caught this pop right here, as a matter of fact, with options on that. Didn't have it today right there. And there you go, plus 500. Look at FinViz. They hop on and they brought the crowd right there. Thank you, FinViz. Look at you guys. That's awesome. So, yeah, make sure you like the show and follow along on X and YouTube and all that. And like I said, we do these shows every night. So, appreciate you, FinViz, all the time. And yeah, CRML looking great. So let me go through the list and tell you guys what looks great this evening, and then I'll go through and see what else you guys want to see. But yeah, Rare Earth looking great. Absolutely looking good right now. Here you go. Ready? CRML, we were just talking about. It's right there. MP, this MP Materials, another good one right there, curling up. You can see that thing looking pretty good right there. So keep an eye on that bad boy right there. Oh, I'll tell you, this one I've been tracking. You want to hear a funny story real quick? Z-Space. I tell the story about this one, and I started following this one because we go through computer hardware and the quantum stocks each night. So I just started following this one. It started December 5th last year, and it's just been like, it went down the entire year. I don't know. It's on my list right in front of me for all the quantum and hardware ones. But I do think this is actually finally getting set up, guys, and has a ton of room. So if you want a good one to keep an eye on that has a lot of potential, I think the Z-Space is getting set up right there. Plugs plugging away right here. These electrical equipment ones, these ones are looking good right here. This one could continue to run up there tomorrow. Looking real good. ASPI, I have options going into tomorrow on this guy right here. That one's looking real good. Look at that 2050 meeting up, curling up. Looking great right there, up almost 2.5% in the after hours. So that looks good. ASTS, this is just an absolute monster. The guys in our Discord were so early on this. They were buying this at like $20, guys. They were way early on this thing. And the guy, Rhett, he's like an expert at this thing. He knows the company like the back of his hand, and he knows exactly when it's going to pop. It's crazy. So, yeah, this one, definitely a monster right there. Just keep an eye on it for any dip opportunities. That's the same like MU right now. Keep an eye on this for any dip opportunities, because look at this thing today in our Discord. It literally pulled back. We called it right down there. Like, well, that's bottoming out. It should run up. And did it run? I mean, it went up like $20 in like a couple hours right there. It was pretty wild. So definitely want to take advantage of them guys because they're great, especially on options. They pay out pretty well. And let's see, UMAC right here. We had this today going into our Discord. That was a nice one. That could continue its way up there tomorrow. UNH right here. I mentioned this yesterday as a momentum play. Look at this. I still think you have momentum coming in. The earnings are what, next week right there? So UNH looking really good right there. That one's up. I think you still have momentum. And obviously, I don't usually hold anything over the weekend unless it's like a really long play. But a lot of great ones going into tomorrow. I'll tell you what, the market was setting up at the end of the day. It looked kind of crazy. We were just looking at this laptop travel RGC. Look at that thing right there. It was up 40% today. This thing was this one ran like monstrous one time. I forget when it was. It was back there whenever. But this thing was a monster run at some point. I remember because it was like a huge, huge run. It was probably back there, but whatever. Looking really good right here. Recently ran up, pulled back, and now it looks like you want to spike back up right there. So keep an eye on that one right there. This snowflake right here, you know, snow's going to be coming down all over the place in the East Coast, middle of the country. This snow is going to be going back up. I recently played this on these two candle pops on options, and it was pretty good. You're starting to base out, curl up right here. again, I would wait until probably Monday, more or less, to get into this. We'll see what it looks like tomorrow, but that is getting set up right there for snow. So I do like that. And that'll pop up like you can see $4 today. That can run up like $8 and without even trying on a normal day. It's kind of crazy what that one does. Let's see what else. Red wire right here. This one looking pretty good. Aerospace and defense. They're setting back up as well. And this QSI. So we got them all over the place. Every sector. We just go through the entire market, find out what's going to be popping, what's setting up, what looks good, and just go through them. I'll even give you some penny stocks as well. But look at that QSI right there. We've been tracking this down, and that's finally looking good right there. Blink charging right here, BLNK. There you go, 7 cents running today, and looks like it wants to stay in that channel. Could get up to that 50. It's a little over $1 right there. You look like you have some movement. Path, that dipped down. It looks like it's on the right path again. So that one's going to be blasting off. Look at that thing setting off. And again, that could be a good momentum play for tomorrow. I'd probably get out of it at the end of the day, might hit that 50 right there, and then reevaluate it on Monday. So that's what I like to do with a lot of these. And then just go in with cash over the weekend. You never know. And I always say, especially a 3-day weekend like last weekend, look what happened. And I did sell what I have. Was it SMCI? Was that last weekend right there? Yeah, that was Friday. Last Friday, I believe, or was that Monday? I forget which one popped up Friday, but I made sure I got out of it, and it did dip down a little bit. So yeah, I try not to hold them, especially right now. It's a pretty volatile market, so I say lock in those profits as you're going up. That's for sure, and you can always catch it again. And if you really like it, it's going up. The guy Ben that we do the story trading with and the Discord with, he's taught me actually it's not a bad thing to actually chase them on the way up when you know they're still going up and they're going to be popping like another $1 or $2. It's still not a bad, even if you sold it and you like the setup now. So yeah, I've actually been doing that when I like them, and it does work out because that momentum keeps them going, guys. So space right here is getting set up. Virgin Galactic, we've been watching this thing. Here's one that's been beaten down. Adobe right here. This one's getting set up. That one should be good for next week. Could pop up some more tomorrow, but that one should be a good one. How about we were just talking about Fig right here, Figma, and that one. This one popped up a couple weeks ago and then took a really nice dip. We love these things. I call this the basement down there, even the dungeon. They get into the dungeon and they get set up, guys. They get rolling. That's what we look for, to be honest. That's how you catch 100% penny stocks. When you catch them out of the basement, you catch them going straight up just like that. That's what we do. So that's why you'll see a lot of similar setups like this, but we do it with everything, whether it's big caps, micro, macro, I don't care, even meme coins. Give me a chart. If I can see this chart, if it's on FinViz, I can definitely look at it. We even do poly market and then obviously crypto and everything else. So yeah, we look at everything. It's a lot of fun. And I do like to, I love the charts. Nuclear looking good. The nuclear sector looking pretty good right here. SMR as well. So you could check this one out. That looks pretty good setting up. You could see that 20 and 50 meeting up. And then OKLO right here, OKLO. That might look the weakest out of them three. And that's a nuclear one. That usually looks great, but it did run up the other day. So yeah, NKLR looking good. Here's a good one too. Grab. This one we were just talking about going into the future right there. So here, I'll just show you guys. What day was it? These things are crazy over here. You want to see something wild? What were we talking about? That 20th or something? Where was it? February 20th, right? Watch this, guys. We kind of look at everything. Look at this thing. This thing has all kinds of crazy options, open interest and stuff like that. We look at this thing. The money will tell you where everything's going. I just kind of learned that recently as well, too. So I learn as we go along, and I've been doing this for over 25 years. So I always say you'll learn every single day. And yeah, I've been learning a lot more because I've only looked at charts. I'm fully a technical person. I don't look at no news. I tell you what the news is going to happen, honestly, based off the charts, and we're pretty accurate with it when I want to do it. I actually called the Trump assassination days before it happened. It's on tape. You can hear exactly what I said. What I say is so crazy. I say, like, no one can deny what happened and what went down and what I was talking about. So you can go back and check that out. But yeah, I called the election for like 3 months. I said it would be one of the biggest landslides, not to be political, but just based off the charts. And that was off Poly Market, guys. So yeah, I'm just a technical guy and I don't really look at any news at all. But I've now that we do the story trading Discord, Ben, he's great at it. So I trade with him all the time. And I've actually learned to look at a lot of this stuff and pay attention to it. And I'll be honest with you, it's definitely made a difference. It's helped me out, helps trading out. I guess every little advantage that you have is going to help. And we talk about this mindset and things that make you better at trading all the time. I think mindset has everything to do with it, to be completely honest with you. So you got to have that right mindset. And like I tell people, you got to learn how to trade smart and lock in profits. If you can't trade smart with $10, you're not going to trade smart with 100. You're not going to do it with 1,000 or 10,000. Throwing more money at it just means you're going to lose more money. But if you could trade smart with 10, you'll do it with 100, you'll do it 1,000, you'll do it with 10,000, and you'll consistently build that account and watch it just keep going and going and going. That's what it's all about, guys. And it's not about hitting grand slams all the time. You hit singles and doubles. That's what wins games. When you get on a hot streak like that, because them singles and doubles add up and your confidence and everything, you're in the right mindset. That's when the home runs, they just start popping out at you and you just start smashing them out of the park. So just remember, singles and doubles are going to win the games, even triples. But your home runs and grand slams, they come when you're in that zone, really. That's what ends up happening. Just look at it just like a sports player. It's exactly what happens with them. So we like to talk about the mindset because it's very important. And obviously, I always say, just because you can pick 100%ers on the charts doesn't mean you can trade 100%ers. So it's always not easy. It's not so easy to trade them just because you can pick them. So you got to try to figure that out as well. So that's why we learn how to trade them. And I say, you don't have to be great at the charts. You just have to know what you're looking at and be confident in what you're looking at. If you're confident in it and you know it's going to do it, then you'll be confident in your trading as well. And that's how you make your money. Going in and just not knowing, like you're walking on eggshells. Just think about anything in life. Do you ever do well when you do that? A lot of people, they just blindly follow people. Never do that either. I tell people, look at my background, look at everything I've ever done, and you guys can see what I do, and I do this every night. So we talk about it all the time. But yeah, just don't blindly follow anybody's calls or anything. Obviously there's paid discords and everything like that, but make sure that you know why the person's actually doing what they're doing. And that's what I try to talk about all the time. I try to give people that insight so that you guys can carry on and do this. And if I'm not around, you can do this and everybody can have that skill. So it's a fine line between knowing how to trade smart, locking in them profits, but also knowing how to read the charts. So you got to kind of walk down the middle of them and have a little bit of not expertise, have a little knowledge at both of them and just be confident and good at them both, and you'll do really well. You don't really necessarily have to be an expert. So just remember that. But just remember, learning to trade and locking in profits is the most important thing, guys. When things are going up, you have to know that they're going to come back down, and they're probably coming back down lower than your buy-in price. And I've made every mistake you could ever imagine in the market, probably way too many times. I can promise you that. And somehow I'm still around doing this way too long, but I love it. Clearly, it's a passion of mine, and clearly it's what I do for a living. So I love it, but I try to tell everybody the real parts of trading and what can really burn you and what can actually make you do well. And that's what's important. So you want to try to avoid all the mistakes and obviously trade smart and lock in profits. Allocation, guys, I'll tell you what, I've learned that in the last year or two. Your allocation on what you're trading. If you're not real confident with a trade, don't go throwing like a huge allocation into it. It should be very small. And honestly, you should never be going real big in allocations because you just never know what can happen in the market. That's why it's the market. That's why everything's a risk. As much as I can read the charts and as confident as I am, I don't get 100% right, and I can be honest about that. You guys know I picked Netflix the other day for the earnings based solely, and I'll show you what I did. I said it was a lotto play for sure, but based solely on the fact that they generally don't have back-to-back red earnings. So the last one was red. It was green, but it was in the basement down here, and I just thought it would pop out. And clearly, I didn't read that one right. But today, I did say Intel before the earnings came out. I said there's no way I would play that. It looks like it's going to dip down, and I should have put that one down, but I didn't. So again, just because you can read it perfectly, you still got to put your money where your mouth is and then trade it smart. So we discuss all these important things I find very important and I find interesting as well. But I think that definitely helps you trade. And I'll tell you what, we have some people on here that started listening to the show when I first started, and some of them are really good. I think some people now are better than me at trading and picking out stocks, to be completely honest with you. So, and I'm proud that that's happened. It's awesome to see some of the people. Doge Mom and Nine. There's so many people that listen on a regular basis, and I'll tell you what, they've gotten good. We taught Joseph Levy. He's playing pool and stuff. This dude, I mean, within 2-3 weeks, guys, this dude made an incredible amount of money in options. He had no idea what an option was. And he just sent me a DM, reached out. I talk to him all the time now. And so, yeah, you guys can always reach out. I try to lead everybody down the right path. Let's put it that way. So that's what it's all about, and just being honest about it. So yeah, I go through a bunch of charts. Obviously, you can't trade them all, and I talk about you want to pick out the ones that you're confident in, that you really like, and trade them smart. You'll do really well, and you can kind of limit it down to like 1 or 2 trades. I try not to overtrade. I seem like if I overtrade too many, that's when I don't do as well, because you lose your focus. You're all over the place. Now, granted, I look at the entire market all day, all the time, but I can focus on the ones that I actually have. So that's why I limit them down. And if you can make your picks pretty confidently and know that you're going to hit most of them, they're not going to be perfect, you're going to beat the market. So just something to keep in mind. And here we go. Let's just cruise on through and see what else we're looking at here. And I'll give you a few more. Oh, fly. This is going to get flying, guys. This is going to be fly. Look at that. It's setting up in a bullish channel. It's a fairly new one, and it started out way up here in like the 70s, and now you're in the 30s. And it's a great sector right here. Aerospace and defense and all that space stuff is a hot sector. They are cruising. So definitely keep an eye on this. That could be a good one this year. Dell setting up right here. We just watched it pull back, and now it looks really good. Look at that thing. That should try to curl through. And then sometimes I'll give you a little hint right here. When they try to get through that MACD a couple of times and they start bouncing back, you know it's going through off that 3rd or 4th time. Generally, in a normal market anyway, we've seen the last administration, well, they bounced down like 8 times off the MACD. There was things I'd never seen in 20 plus years happen in the last administration on charts. It was crazy. I didn't think the market would even last another 4 years, and I used to say it often. So again, I just try to point out the things that are actually happening here. And I can tell I've pointed out when companies were going bankrupt before they ever announced the bankruptcy. I've talked about them going bankrupt, and they'll announce it right after that. Like, you could see these things on the charts. People think I'm nuts, but you really can see every single thing on the chart. It's kind of fascinating to me. And that's why I've been into them so much. But anyway, Dell right here, setting up pretty nice. And here's a couple penny stocks if you're into them. Data Vault right here. Doge Mom and Nine just saw this again. We played this multiple times on multiple pops. As a matter of fact, I just go blank, but Daniel Javier Fitz from the Cavino and Rich listeners, he was the first one to point this one out, and it ran massively. And then we started keeping it on our radar right here. And yeah, this is a good spot right here, guys. This thing, Data Vault, that's going to get cruising. That looks really good for sure. And Amaze, we looked at this last night. I literally put it on the list last night, said it looked like it was going to be amazing. And there you go. It's up over 20% today. And it still looks pretty good. So that's what we do on the show on a daily basis, guys. And again, I can't possibly trade all these, and neither can you. But everybody likes different things. So I try to cater to every single person's style and every type of trading any kind of trading that you do, whether it's options, penny stocks, it doesn't really matter. Like I say, just give me the chart. As a matter of fact, it's funny. for a while there, we were going through, where is it? The futures. Um, like the cocoa and stuff. And I was talking about the cows, where the meats and stuff. And I was calling all this stuff and talking about, like, I could play these so perfectly. I don't even know. I do know there's a few stock tickers because they've sent them over to me, but I could play these so easily. I mean, the grains and stuff. This is like the easiest stuff in the world. And I've done it a lot of times, but I've never ever traded it. I know then Michael Anthony showed us a bunch of like what the wheat stock was and how you trade these things. I totally forget, but yeah, we can even do them. I'm telling you, the charts on here are easy to read for Finviz. I love it. I've been doing them for so long that it just comes kind of natural to me, I guess. I don't even know, but yeah, so anything with a chart, we love it. But AMZE right there, that could be amazing again tomorrow. And then Doge Mama 9 gave us this one too tonight, and this looks really good. Look at that thing going to blast off that trend line. And here, this is something about Finviz, since they're on listening and brought a huge crowd tonight. Thank you very much. EONR, here's a great example of something that Finviz does that I've never seen ever in my life. These trend lines that they built in, and again, I was talking about earlier, I've built my own chart scanners, everything in between. I can never figure out how the heck Finviz gets these trend lines. I can't figure out their algorithms. I built bots and all. I just can't understand what their algorithms are. And again, I've pretty much given up because I've tried so many times to figure this out, and I just can't figure it out. But they've been building these trend lines, and you see me just going back and forth, like your supports and your resistance. They've been building these trend lines since 2007 when they started this site. These things have always been there, and this is why I always look at Finviz. And again, I've been using Finviz since I've been looking at charts. TrendSpider is fairly new for me. That I started using a couple years ago, and that's how I built my own charts and scanners and everything else. And it is a great service as well. And again, I don't even compare the two. I say I basically have the two sharpest tools in the shed, and that's TrendSpider, Finviz by far, and I pay for them both. This is a paid service, and I obviously have the Elite right here. So you can see I pay for them both, and they're the best services, I believe, that you can get in the market. And again, I use them both. I look at the charts. I've always, and I'll tell you the truth, I used to look at Finviz and stockcharts.com. And then I started using TrendSpider, and it kind of got rid of the stock charts one. But I've always looked at two charts, and I still do it to this day, to make sure what I see is exactly what is setting up and happening. Sometimes you look at a chart and then you look at the other one, and you're like, wait a second, that's not right. Something's off right here. I better look at this tomorrow. And that happens often, not that often right now. It used to happen a lot more. Again, a lot of weird things that would happen in the last administration. It was weird, but that was happening a lot. So right now, Finviz is so accurate, and now they have the overnight too. That's great because they put the overnight hours, and you can see everything. So I can kind of blast right through a lot of the charts and stuff just off the Finviz. I used to have to bounce back and forth, but since they've updated so many things, I kind of just use Finviz. But I definitely, when I trade and do things, I use them both. I'm going to be honest with you. I use them both. I think they're both great, and I use them for two different things, obviously. Like I said, Finviz, so we'll go back to that EONR right there. I've never seen these trend lines ever built anywhere else. I can't figure out what they are, but they're absolutely incredible, guys. I've never seen anything like it. But all these years that I've used them, these things will just bounce off these lines. I don't even know what they are. I have no idea, but they're the most perfect trend lines that Finviz has always drawn in, and they just draw them in, this blue and pink line. So that's an amazing thing that they've always done, and it's been like way ahead of everybody. Again, they've been around since like 2007, and so yeah, it's just incredible what they built back then, and it still holds up today. And then they just made a bunch of new changes that just kind of really stepped it up to the next level. They almost made it so great back then that they didn't even have to touch it for almost 20 years. I'm not going to lie. I'm being serious. That's how good of a platform it's always been. And like I said, I've been using it every single day for almost 20. As a matter of fact, Finviz, you guys don't notice, a lot of new people. I won't go into the whole story. I know a lot of people on here, my listeners all know my head injury story, but at Finviz, I do want to tell you this because it is kind of funny. So I suffered a major brain injury like 2.5 years ago. Long story short, I was helping my buddy. We were jacking up his house. We were changing a bunch of joists that had termite damage. And long story short, we had a 10-ton jack, and then on top of it, there was a 4x4 to reach the house, like the roof, because we were jacking the house up. And here the 4x4 kicks out, guys. And the jack, 10-ton jack with the pressure of the 2-story house, it hit me right here. I mean, you might not see it clearly on this camera, but I have a big bump there, and it smacked me. And put it this way, I was floating through energy. I'm pretty sure I was on the other side of life. Everything was dark, quiet, and peaceful. It was a miracle that I even survived, and I can even talk to you right now. But anyway, a long story short, what I was going to say is, so I get hit with this thing, and obviously I have to go to the hospital, which was the crazy part. So I somehow get up, and I'll tell you real quick, this thing hit me. It felt like someone hit me with a sledgehammer across my head. I'm not going to lie. This thing hit me, and it all happened so fast. I mean, you're talking the pressure of a house, so you don't even see this thing coming. It hits me. I just remember, guys, this thing hit me. I go backward. I just remember feeling everything go black, quiet, and peaceful, just dark, nothing ringing, nothing happening. And then I just start floating through this energy. And I just remember going backwards. And then all of a sudden, I just remembered like springing forward as fast as you could ever imagine. And now I'm floating through energy. Like I said, like there's literally, I don't feel anything else. And my buddy didn't even know it hit me. So then I end up on my feet, and I'm standing there like that. And in my mind, I hear these real calm voice saying, open your eyes, open your eyes. And I like open my eyes. And in my mind, I go, holy shit, I'm alive. And then I felt the blood pouring down my face. And I tell my buddy, now my hands are still over my head. And I say to him, I go, yo, we have a medical emergency. I just got hit by that thing. And that thing just hit me. And that's when he realizes hit me. And he goes, yo, move your hands, move your hands. So I move my hands. And he like goes in shock. Like, he turns white as a ghost because my head split open. So now the house is all demoed. So we go into the bathroom, and I look into the mirror, and my head split open right there. And I'm like, oh shit, man, I think we're going to need a hospital for this one. So I call my wife, and I tell her, because we're like 3 blocks from my house. And I say to her, I said, yo, we just had a bad accident, and the jack just split my head open. So pack me a bag. I'm going to come home. And then the hospital's probably not going to let me leave tonight. So get me a charger and some clothes and stuff, and I'll be right there. And put Dougie to bed. At the time, my little guy was 2 years old. So he's he's like 2.5. He's 5 now. So I said, make sure you put Dougie to bed. This isn't exactly pretty. So I have a freezer bag full of ice on my head. My buddy drives me home. I grab my bag of stuff, and then my buddy takes me to the hospital. So we go to the hospital, and I walk in. They put me right through the triage real quick because my head split open. And then I go back there, and I can't make this up. The doctor that stitches me up, his name's Dr. Moses. That's exactly what it says on my discharge papers. Can't make it up if you had to. So his name's Dr. Moses, but they put me in a CAT scan. They bring me out, and they tell me I'm perfectly fine. They're like, dude, you're fine. I'm not sure. Now, mind you, like, I guess this is an adrenaline rush. I'm completely out of my mind, guys. Like, I have the most severe concussion you could ever imagine at this point. And so now here's the FinViz part. This is the funny part. So now I'm sitting in the ER, and my buddy's in there with me, and I'm looking at FinViz on my phone, looking at stock charts, and Dr. Moses comes in, and I'm looking at stock charts here, and I'm looking at them, and I'm laughing to my buddy. I'm like, dude, you're so lucky I can still see these stock charts. And Dr. Moses is looking at me because my head split open. They hadn't even stitched me up yet. And he's looking at me going, what are you doing? Like, you're laughing. You're crazy, dude. What's going on? And I'm like, oh, I'm looking at stock charts. I'm like, I said, my buddy's lucky. I can still see these things. And he's just looking at me going, what are you talking about? And I go, oh, I look at stock charts. That's what I do for a living. I trade stocks. And he's just looking at me like I have 10 heads now because my head split open. And I'm there looking at stock. I'm looking at FinViz, guys. And I swear, I kid you not, these people, they tell me I'm perfectly fine at this hospital. They let me leave 4 hours later. I walk out the door. I'm home. 4 hours later, I'm at my house with a brain injury. And long story short, I ended up at a second hospital like 13 days later. And then I had about 2 years plus of cognitive therapy because I suffered a really severe brain injury. And no one can believe I really lived through all of that. So it was pretty crazy. But yeah, I kind of say, like, I kind of feel like me looking at stock charts, I never stopped looking at them. So I came home, and you can go back. This happens to July 8th of 2023. So you can go back to my feeds and stuff and even look and see, like, I kind of did. I posted a little bit the next day or two, and then I had said what happened, and I guess posted a picture or whatever. But I was still looking at stock charts that entire time. I never stopped, and I kind of feel like it helped my brain. I think might kept it going, I would say, because yeah, I should be a vegetable. If not, I should have been dead. My head should have exploded on impact. Nobody can believe I survived, and I mean nobody. There's not a neurologist. There's nobody that understands the logistics of jacking up a house and getting hit with a 10-ton jack. Nobody thinks you're living. You're just a statistic at that point. That's called a construction accident, and you're dead. So yeah, I somehow lived through this thing, and now I do a show, and that's how my show actually started. I started doing when I was doing cognitive therapy. They were doing these things, and I have a tough time reading. If you watch the show, that's part of my brain injury. I have a tough time reading numbers and stuff, but I can see stock charts perfectly fine. So I'm in cognitive therapy, working with these therapists and doctors and people. And I'm like, I can't read anything. I can't comprehend anything. And I'm like, yo, if this were just like stocks or stock charts, I could probably do this with no problem. So I come home and I start doing a show on X about stocks and just start talking about them. And now, like almost 2 years later, guys, what was it? May 31st, over a year ago. So May 31st of this year will be 2 years. I started doing a show, and I know Laptop Travel was one of the first. He listened to the very first show, and he's still on today. And we do a Discord together. So met so many great people in between. Luis Rodriguez, I picked up Luis Rodriguez at his house. We went to New York together a couple of weeks ago and hung out with a bunch of people that we met through the Discord. And yeah, just amazing people we've met. Michael Anthony's always on the show. Never met him, but he's awesome. And so many great people. So yeah, that's my story right there. But just fascinating, FinViz. I always tell the story. And I'm like, yo, I'm telling you, I'm sitting there looking at stock charts at the hospital. My head split open. And I'm looking at FinViz. And Dr. Moses is just like looking at me. He's puzzled. He don't know what's going on. And yeah, I shouldn't even have been alive. And then they let me leave. So yeah, it was all crazy, guys. And yeah, a week after it happened, I ended up at the Jersey Shore. I took my niece who was in town. I took her into a haunted house because I was in a manic state, and everything that looked crazy was all for me. And then I went into that, and I was really messed up. But anyway, that's what happened to me. And but yeah, FinViz, interesting story right there. So I had always been looking at FinViz my entire, like, almost literally like half my life now. I'm 45, and I've been looking at these charts for like 25 years. So I would say more than half my life I've been looking at stock charts, and FinViz has been a part of it for a really long time. So I really appreciate you guys, that's for sure. And yeah, that's the story. And yeah, you guys, and even FinViz charts might have helped my brain injury, but that's how the show started. So yeah, we do this show, like I said, every night at 8 p.m. We go through the market and break it all down. And then we do a show at pre-market show at 7 a.m. So I'll be on at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning if you want to tune in and see what's going to be happening in the morning. Let me go through the messages, see if we missed anything. I'll do a final little cruise through, see what else is happening here. We went through a lot of the good ones that I was wrote down tonight. And again, I go through an entire list every night. And any stocks that you want to look at, just post them up. I'm going to go through the feed right now. We'll look at all the stock tickers you want to. I know we were already looking at that UUU and the rare earths, and we were talking about Clean Spark is pretty interesting when Riot and Mara are looking like they're don't want to move. But I think Clean Spark's moving more into the territory where they're just like the AI stuff and doing that kind of thing now. So I don't think they're as much as a crypto, whatever it is, what the heck, miner. That's what they used to do. I think they're getting more into the AI stuff and the data centers. And obviously, it's probably a good idea. I think that's where you got all them spike ups recently with Clean Spark. So it is looking interesting right there. Look at that curl up. So I don't think Clean Spark necessarily has to run with Bitcoin like Matter and Riot will. And they're down, obviously, Bitcoin pulling back and crypto pulling back a little bit. But yeah, these are down. Clean Spark looking really good. Let's look at our crypto real quick. Bitcoin's at 89 right now. And let's see. Yeah, it's just kind of making a base there. We've been calling crypto, I mean, absolutely perfect. This right here, this got into a bullish state, and then this ended up being tax loss selling that you never saw before in crypto. It never really happened before, but it did happen this year. And then you can see that's why I started ripping. This little pullback right here is a little odd, but you are going to get busted back up and cruising again. So it is just taking its dear old time for whatever reason. I'm not sure. But again, it did have tax loss selling this year, which was kind of odd. You'd never seen that before. So it put a lull in it right when it was started to get really bullish. I think it's going to pull back and pick up that bullish channel up there. That's why this pullback right here is a little odd to me, but that's just what the chart looks like. And then everything else is going to follow, obviously, like Ethereum. That still looks like it's going to pull back a little bit right there. Ripple looks like it could pull back a little bit more as well. Obviously, they could be turned around in the morning. You have a little less trading right now. And but yeah, look at Solana trying to make a base right there. It is kind of pulling back at the same time. So they could have a little bit of pullback. I don't know if they'll pull back a whole lot more. I don't think they'll level down. Let's put it that way. I think you'll try to curl up and start basing and move back up is at least what it looks like right there. Lemonade was pretty tasty today, that's for sure. That was running up pretty big. Can you believe I was what? Why can't I type in a D right here? There we go. I was trading this back in 50s and then sold it all. Why didn't I just hold that thing? It would have been doubled up right there. I remember I bought it in like the 40s. I sold it in the 50s, and I didn't realize that it was going to be that great a lemonade, to be honest with you. But obviously some tasty lemonade right here because this thing's ripping up there. It's hitting the top. It has resistance up here. I'd have to look at it tomorrow, but it was a really good one right there today. That's for sure. ASTI right here. That is Ascent Solar. This one's ripping up there. I saw this one actually trending on Stock Twits earlier. And yeah, that one's in a pretty bullish state. There's a couple good solar ones. And I'll just rip right through real quick and see right through the whole entire sector. But that looks good. This one was looking good the other day. Remember when that one ran up the other day? We were looking at it. That one's starting to set up CSIQ. Take a look at that. And let's see what else is looking good. Whoa, look at that PN. That one could get moving, guys. Let's open that one up. That's an interesting looking chart real quick. This is what I do. I'll just go through the sector and see what looks good real fast, what wants to set up, what wants to run. I can't get the mouse to move right. Hold on. There we go. And let's see. ZO right there. That one looks pretty good too, VVPR, but I definitely want to look at this. It's very interesting right there. Big old spike up, coming down, coming out of the basement. That's what I like to see, some kind of China small cap one. Got to be careful with that. But PN right there, keep an eye on that. That one could run. CHKP, what is that? Like Checkpoint or something like that? CHKP, Checkpoint Software. That's exactly what it is. I can't remember. I just told you my brain injury story. I can't remember anything. I know like all these stock tickers. I know the penny stock tickers. It's actually, I started to use it as a, again, cognitive therapy and help my brain start trying to remember some of the stock tickers with the names of the companies. Before FinViz, when I used to just scan these companies, I would literally look at thousands of charts in a day and pick out the one. I didn't even look at the stock ticker. I didn't know the name of the company. I didn't know anything about it. It didn't matter. It still doesn't matter. But now I do the show, and it's more fun to know the names of the companies. And again, I kind of use it as a brain exercise, and I think it's been quite amazing. I'll tell you what, I started to get my long-term memory back. They should definitely do study. I tell every neurologist, guys, you should probably be studying my brain right now. I mean, nobody can believe what they see happening here. And I'm telling you, I think the formula is pretty easy. You got to like really keep your brain active. And you really need to do concussion therapy, cognitive therapy, because I got whacked. I mean, I'm telling you, I probably took one of the hardest hits you could ever imagine. Probably one of the hardest hits in the history of life to survive to the head. Let's put it that way. It was that serious. 10-ton jack. There's a video on my YouTube. You guys can go back and look at it. You can even look at it. I did it after the fact that I got hit like a month later. I still look like I'm in another zone. in another galaxy. I'd say I come back to Earth every few months a little bit more, and this show definitely helps me. So yeah, it's fascinating. But here's Checkpoint right here. Let's look at it and see what's going on. But yeah, somehow I knew that this was Checkpoint. I mean, CHKP. You might be able to figure it out by that stock ticker, but I do know this one. It doesn't look bad. Another one, I don't know if it gets really running tomorrow there, consistency spike, but I do think you get set up right here. You do have your earnings coming up in the beginning of February. I think you run up before your earnings there. So it definitely could be an interesting one there to keep an eye on. Checkpoint next week. Again, maybe you get running up. You have resistance right there at like 180, which I mean, another $2 you could run up there tomorrow. Could be pretty good. So you keep an eye on that. And let's see, Michael Anthony, did you know many tech like Dell had a big downgrade, saying a slowdown that you can Now, let me just explain. A ton of new people hanging out tonight. Michael Anthony here. He's a great, he's one of our great listeners and viewers every night. But I can't read and he can't write. So we actually Luis Rodriguez literally built an entire AI to figure out what the heck he's even talking about. So Luis Rodriguez runs what Michael Anthony says through AI on this show, and then we can kind of decipher what the heck he's talking about. I read it. It's just fascinating to me. It just sounds like a bunch of words. But yeah, so if you're new to it and you're like, what the heck? This guy can't read. No, I can't read. I'm not going to lie. My reading comprehension's garbage. But Michael Anthony also can't write. He does use AI every once in a while. We could definitely tell when he does it. But we built an entire AI just so we could decipher what the heck he's talking about all the time. It's pretty hilarious. I'm not going to lie. And that's what we do on this show. Not only do we pick out all the stocks and the poppers and the ones that are going to run 100% plus, but we try to have a little entertainment and fun. And Michael Anthony's a great sport. He's a older guy that lives in Florida, I believe. And yeah, he's just great. He's awesome. He gives us a lot of great picks. I'm not going to lie. He knows the market well, but he sure as hell can't type. I'm not going to lie about that. And I sure can't read. So this is what this sounds like. I'll put it on the screen. This is what it will sound like. Doug, did you know that many tech like Dell, which is DELL, had a big downgrade, saying a slowdown that UCAB, I don't even know, that UCAB Google to SE3, that a slow is happening. If anyone can figure that out, please let me know. But yeah, we had to build an entire AI system to figure out what the heck he's talking about. But usually he's pretty dead on whenever we can comprehend what he's saying. So that's our Michael Anthony right there. I don't want you to think I'm like really that whacked out. But yeah, he can't write. But the U.S. call data center, let me see. What are you writing? The U.S. call the data centers that worry about not having enough power over the weekends because of the storms. And he wrote Strom's there. So yeah, you try to decipher Michael Anthony, and it's just the best. Why did lemonade go up so much today? I have no idea. It was a sweet glass of lemonade today. I really don't know, Michael. You ask me these things all the time, and I never know the answer because I never know the news. We talk about it in the morning in the Discord, but I don't even remember what we talked about. So I can't even tell you. Sometimes I remember. I think Rhett talked about it this morning. I know he was, but I couldn't even tell you what the heck happened there. I'm trying to find the news. FinViz also. Well, I got you on that. Putting the news up here is awesome too. I love it. You guys added so many great features. I forget them all. But yeah, you put the news up here. That's really good. The futures are live now, so you guys can look and see the overnight futures are always live. That's pretty amazing. I mean, that's a big one right there, to be honest with you. And you can get the 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. charts and everything live. I mean, just completely stepped it up to a whole nother level there. And it is awesome. So, and thank you, FinViz, for hanging out, tweeting it out, and telling everybody about the show. I hope everybody's enjoying it, having a good time. And like I said, we do this show every night, Sunday through Thursday nights at 8 p.m. And then I do a pre-market show Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. So I'll post it out. So make sure you follow along, hit the like button. But yeah, follow along on X and YouTube, and you can get all the info there. They obviously stream on X and YouTube. And then I post out the link or I send the picture of the night sheet. And I was surprised before I told the story. The one day I didn't really post it, and like I got a bunch of messages, and people were like, "Yeah, you're gonna post that thing." And I realized that a lot of people actually print it out and use it as their watch list the next day. So we go through the entire market and see exactly what's going to be popping. And yeah, you can use it every day as your watch list, and then we do it again in the morning, and it's a lot of fun. And obviously we have pretty good success. Like I said, I've definitely picked my fair share of 100%ers. Let's put it that way. Last night, ARM was 300, and and this is another thing, guys. I was always under the impression, because again, I was talking about the penny stocks. I've traded them for a long time. I was always under the impression I had no idea how to trade an option. I didn't even know anything about it. I'm self-taught everything. I say I'm kind of just a dummy from a small town that taught myself how to read stock charts and how to do this stuff. But yeah, I had no idea what an option was or even how to buy it or what the heck they were. So I was in the penny stocks and trading them, and I didn't even understand the concept that you could even have 100% plus in an option. Like that didn't even, I didn't even think it was possible. I only thought you could do it in penny stocks. So I was fascinated with them here trying to trade these things. And they're not the easiest to trade because they're very volatile for sure. And then last year, yeah, last October, I think. I literally was just like, I need to learn how to trade options. I taught myself how to do it. I just started buying a couple options here and there, figuring it out, figured out a method that worked for me, and never looked back. And now I realized that you can hit options. You can hit 100% plusers like way easier than penny stocks. I mean, yesterday, literally gave out ARM, ARM right here. We talked about it. I gave it out in the Discord, and said it was going to run up this morning. And guess what? That was 308%er from yesterday, buying it right at I bought it at 358 yesterday, guys. 358, and I sold that bad boy. I'm not going to lie. I can tell you exactly where. I sold it right here on that green candle at 9:30. It was like at the very beginning of the day. Yeah, 9:30. I sold it right at 9:30. As soon as the market opened, there was that big green candle right there. I was like, well, that works for me. That thing's up. I had to take a screenshot of it. And I always say now, I say, if I'm taking screenshots, I should probably be selling these things. That should be my slogan, to be honest with you, because if I stick to that, I mean, geez, you'll lock in tons of profit. So yeah, 308%. And then I sold the bad boy, and then it went down. So we try to do it every single day. Like I said, we do it every day consistently in the Discord. And again, if you ever have questions about Discord or anything else I do or we do, let me know. Just shoot me a message on X, a DM on X. I respond to everybody on X. It's quite easy, unless it gets lost in spam, and I try to go through that. I do respond to them as well. So yeah, I try to make sure I don't miss anybody's messages. But here, we'll go through a quick market breakdown real quick tonight. A lot of new people hopping on. Again, I can't even thank FinViz enough. Greatly appreciate you guys and everything you guys do, and tweeting it out, telling everybody about the show tonight. Ton of people on there. Look at that, over 1,050 hanging out tonight. So I greatly appreciate it. Again, make sure you follow along. We do this every single night. We have a lot of fun. And then you guys will love when there's speeches and stuff. We do the commentary, and I keep people updated on the sports games as well. So if you're a sports fan, we try to do that if there's any big games on. So yeah, just a well-rounded show. We just try to have a good time, make it entertaining, but obviously very educational. If you're just tuning in, I was talking a lot about the psychology of trading earlier and the mindset. We talk about that all the time and how important it is to trade smart and lock in profits. Really, that's what it's really about, guys. So I always say we can all pick these stock charts out at this point. I think a lot of us are getting really good at it. Obviously, you guys know what I do, but I'm telling you, a lot of people that have been following the show and listening and paying attention are getting really good at picking charts. And obviously, like I said, Doge Mama 9, she was just starting out when she found the show. She's ripping through penny stocks like it's her job right now. She hits 100%ers all the time. And yeah, you find out what works for you, what method, what style. And again, I do the show. I try to cater to everybody. So it doesn't matter if you trade big caps, micro, macro, megas, whatever, penny stocks. I don't care. We'll pick it out. Even crypto, we go through that as well. The meme coins haven't been as fun lately, but maybe it'll pick up again. But we used to do them as well. So let me see what else you guys want to look at here, and then we'll wrap it up for the night. And like I said, we do the show quite often, so make sure everybody tunes back in and hangs out. And FinViz, thanks you very much. And let me see what Michael Anthony is saying over here. ASCI, you like that? Let me see. What the heck is ASCI? I'm not familiar with that. I don't know every stock. Yeah, I don't know that. What the heck does that even say? ABRDN. That can't even be a real word, can it? What the heck is that word? I don't even know what that says. Anyway, what is this thing? It's an ETF that just started. I have no idea what it's an ETF for. Where did you even find this at, Michael? Where do you find these things sometimes? It boggles my mind, some of these stock tickers that you send over. I've never even heard of them. I've never heard of that thing. It's fairly new, but I don't even know what it does. So anyway, let me just go through a quick review real quick, show you guys what we had tonight, and then we'll go off on our merry way, and everybody can tune in tomorrow morning. We do a quick show tomorrow too. I do it from 7 to 7:30, real quick. We go through it. Sometimes I start like 5-10 minutes early, so you'll see it pop on there on the YouTube or the X or wherever you're listening or watching. And yeah, we just blast right through a quick show, and then I have to go get my little guy ready for school. But so yeah, but we pick out everything, and I'm telling you, it's accurate, it's fun, and we get rolling right there. Utah Uties, how are you this evening? Oris right here, what's that up to? A nice little penny stock that recently reverse split and then ran up, I remember, and that looks good in that channel, trying to roll up there. So that does not look too bad. Again, be careful on a Friday. We'll look at it in the morning. Let me jot it down. Next to Applied Digital Science, because we're going to look at that one too. Is that what it's called? Applied Digital Corp, isn't it? Applied Digital Corp, APLD. Yeah, Applied Digital Corp. We're going to look at that one in the morning as well. Somebody wanted to see that. So yeah, there you go. And let me just go through. I'll do a quick little review. I did one a couple minutes ago, but I've seen a ton of people jumped on. Thanks to FinViz. And so yeah, here we'll go right through and see. And FinViz had mentioned the critical metals or the metals and all, or the whatever the heck they're called, the rare earth stocks and all them. And the 4 U's. As a matter of fact, we were looking at this for a while now, but we did a whole commercial on this one last night. Universal Safety Products. If you're not familiar with them, they do sell smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. As a matter of fact, last night, this is how unique our show is. Last night, I gave you guys safety tips on smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. I was actually a fire official and inspector for over 2 decades in the most dangerous city in America for years, Camden, New Jersey. So I've seen my fair share, but yeah, I know a lot about fire safety. And I was talking about, because that's what this company does. And Michael Anthony was talking about this company here yesterday. And I was like, are they Universal? And they are. And then I was telling everybody about some fire thing. But I'll give everybody, a lot of people on, big snowstorm coming. Here, I'll give you a quick tip and a safety thing real quick. You get a lot of snow around your house. Make sure you go out and clear out the exhaust pipes. You're going to have one for your dryer vent, and you're probably going to have one for your heater now, because they're all energy efficient, and so they vent them out the side of the wall. They generally put them up pretty high. You'd probably have to have a pretty big storm for that, but not all of them. I've seen them pretty some low, because obviously they're put in the basement, so you can only put it up so high. So you got to be careful. And obviously your dryer vent, make sure if you get a lot of snow or if it's drifting against your house, you go out and clear that area out, because trust me, you will get killed from carbon monoxide from that stuff. And you don't want that to happen. And also check your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. And obviously, if your power goes out, don't run a generator in your house. That's for sure. So I shouldn't have to say that, but just for safety reasons, make sure you don't run a generator in your house. They do produce carbon monoxide. So there you go, a little safety tips. And like I said, I was telling people some safety stuff, and I do have a pretty big background in that. In that information, we'll say. So yeah, if any, like I said, you ever have questions about anything, you hit me up. I tell people I've owned companies or done things almost in every single sector, investing in things. I've been doing these things since I was in my 20s, building companies and selling them and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So I've told the stories on the show. So yeah, just listen to the show, come back, follow along and have a good time. We do it all the time. But more importantly, we do pick the market very accurately. I'll go through real quick, tell you what we're looking at. A lot of these rare earth ones, obviously, like UAMY. I've been trading this one all week. It's been running up right there. And USAR right there is USA Rare Earths. Critical metals right here, CRML. That's running up there as well. And ASPI is ASP Isotopes. That's looking really good there for tomorrow. And MP looking pretty good as well. And then, of course, you have your AST Space Mobile, ASTS. That's looking real good. We were talking about UMAC was running up nice today. That could continue its way up there tomorrow. And here's a healthcare one, UNH. That one probably will keep momentum tomorrow, looking pretty good right there. So there you are with that. And Redwire RDW looking pretty healthy to continue up. So there's a lot of great setups there going on. Adobe was beat down. This one looks like it's trying to set up. As a matter of fact, Microsoft, speaking of them, Microsoft right here looks like it bottomed out and looks like it could be trying to move back up as well. So you can keep an eye on that. Path right here was on a beaten path. It looks like it's on the right path now. And again, I was talking about these FinViz lines right here. They're absolutely incredible, guys. These trend lines, I don't know where they come from, how they make them. They've been doing it since they have started the website. And I know because I've been using it that long. But yeah, these things just pop off of here. It's quite impressive. And I've always loved this site. And that's why they've done things. They've been doing it before everybody. I mean, they are, like I said, they built such a great platform so long ago. They actually didn't even have to touch it for almost 20 years. Who could say that ever? I don't think anybody. And yeah, that's how amazing. And then they go ahead and just made everything perfect on it this year. And we greatly appreciate it. I know everybody tuning in, 1,150 people tuning in thanks to FinViz, and they all greatly appreciate, trust me, all the changes you guys made this year. They're absolutely amazing. And then you guys just made the futures live. So that's great. If you guys didn't know, they just changed this, as a matter of fact. The futures are live. If you look right there, that's tomorrow's date, January 23rd. And it does have a green. It tells you it's up 0.07%. They are live right there, guys. And I know we checked with the other sites, and FinViz just doesn't get it wrong. They always get it right. I reached out to them. I asked them if they could do it. And less than a week and a half later, it was a done deal. They had it done. And like I said, I reached out to them originally to see if they could change the times from 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I started talking to the FinViz crew at that point. And yeah, they're just absolutely amazing. Like I said, they took all of my anything I ever recommended or any suggestions or anything. They literally would pick my brain about it. They'd be like, hey, they'd start asking me questions like, what do you want to do there? Why do you like that? What would make it better? Why do you think it would make it better for our audience? And they asked me like real questions, like why. And I just thought that was interesting too, because they actually were trying to make it the best that they could. And they did. They really made everything the best that they could. So awesome platform. We use it every day. You guys know that. And like I said, I use FinViz and I do use TrendSpider. I have affiliate links for both. If anybody ever wants to sign up, feel free to reach out. I'll give you the affiliate links. I'm sure they'll take care of you. And yeah, I use the FinViz Elite, and it's amazing. It's absolutely incredible. And I can't say enough. And again, I was talking about this earlier, and there's a lot of new people. I'm telling you guys, the most active right here, this spot right here is where you'll find so many great calls. It's one of the greatest tabs you could ever find. That most active and that unusual volume. You go back and forth between them in the mornings, and you can find a lot of great setups. And like I was showing you guys earlier, I literally used to click on these, make it into the charts, and then just scan through all the pages to pick out the one that was going to pop 100% and do it on a consistent basis. That's how I really started getting good at reading charts. And then, like I said, I ended up trying to make kind of entered the matrix. I told you guys about the whole brain injury. So after the brain injuries, when I got the TrendSpider right here, because I had always wanted to build a scanner, and I always wanted to have bots. And TrendSpider was the only company that could actually do it. And so they gave me a little showing, and I looked at it, and I was like, wow, that's cool. I can build a scanner and stuff. Here, I'll show you guys. Check it out. Here you go. here, there's all these are scanners that I built. You see how they're all labeled differently? They're all my own personal scanners that I built right there. You can see them all. Lots of them right there, even crypto ones right here. Everything. I mean, just got crazy and did it for everything, like the nano stocks, big stuff, whatever. I got them for everything. So all these different scanners set up, and yeah, once I did that after the brain injury, and obviously I've been using FinViz for my entire life, I felt like I had entered the matrix with the stock charts. It got kind of crazy. And I was already pretty damn good at it. As you can see, my track record's pretty insane for as many 100%ers as I could call. More than one a week every year for like the last few years, that's for sure, on average. And usually like two a week sometimes. But yeah, it's kind of crazy, but I would say I entered the matrix, and when I built these things, and like I said, and FinViz just kept getting better, so I kept getting better with it. And then, like I said, these are the two sharpest tools in the shed. If you're going to use anything in the market and you need scanners or charts, you're going to use FinViz or TrendSpider. I'm going to be honest with you, and like I say, I pay for them both because obviously they do two different things, and it's perfectly fine to have two different sharp tools. I owned a big construction company at one point. I used to do big county jobs and landscaping company, and trust me, you have a lot of tools that you need. You need tools for certain jobs, and this is one of them jobs that I look at it. I need both of these sharp tools. They're the best tools in the shed, and that's why I use them. And I don't even compare the two. That's why I have no problem ever mentioning FinViz and TrendSpider at the same time. They're obviously going to be, I guess, I don't even know if they're competitors. I would think that TrendSpider's competitors really TradingView, I would assume. And FinViz, I don't even think has a competitor, to be completely honest with you. I really don't. So, like I said, I don't really consider them kind of the same. That's why I mention them both all the time. I pay for them both, and they're both great tools. So, if you ever have questions about either of them, just feel free to shoot me a DM on X. You know, I know the sites real well. I know this site so well. I've been using it the entire time they have it that I've suggested so many things. They went ahead and made a bunch new. This is awesome too, guys. I love this thing, this Dougie Digest. I absolutely love that. I actually use this right here to make my my thumbnails now for my videos. So yeah, I utilize FinViz nonstop. It's the number, like when I put my bookmarks up on my phone, it's the first one that pops up is FinViz. So I use it all day. It's always on. It's literally always, I have this, so I have a studio I built. This is a little studio I built. And then if you're in the Discord, you see I built a I have a shed outside. I built a trading shed. It's beautiful. I did it this summer. And so I like to be outside. I don't like to be down here I built a studio in my basement. I don't like to be down here all day. So I built a trading shed, and I do the shows out there during the day as well. But it has a bunch of windows and all. So yeah, I sit out there and do my trading. But yeah, I have TrendSpider and FinViz. They're on like this monitor. I go out there, they're on that monitor. If I pull up my phone right now and go on the internet, like if I hit Safari, the first thing that pops up is literally TrendSpider or FinViz every single time. I don't actually use TrendSpider on my phone actually, so it wouldn't pop up as TrendSpider. But yeah, FinViz pops up every single time I pull up the internet on my phone. It's always on FinViz. And again, to the point where I'd gotten smacked in the head so hard I had a brain injury, and I'm sitting there looking at FinViz stock charts in the ER. So pretty interesting right there. And let me see what you guys have. We were looking at Oris right there, and ASCI. And let's see, Luis Rodriguez, is this what he said? Look, this is our this is how we decipher what Michael Anthony's talking about, guys. So Luis Rodriguez just ran it through the AI, so now we know what Michael Anthony said. He said he's doubling down on his Albertson ACI pick, which is a typo, and then the fundamentals. The stock is trading at a low PE multiple, making it cheap, and the confidence there is insider buyer happening. So there you go. And then Michael Anthony chimes in, ACI doing a $1.60 senior note or something senior note, and could dip near the lows again. So yeah, we have to decipher what Michael Anthony says. So we built an entire AI bot to literally Luis Rodriguez just posts copies and pastes his messages in there, and then we can figure out what he's actually talking about. It's so accurate. It's kind of bizarre. And I told Michael Anthony, you should just walk around with that thing. It's pretty crazy. And so, yeah, God bless AI. That's been amazing. And so anyway, let's see. U.S. House passes government funding bill 341-88. No shutdowns. When was there supposed to be a shutdown? The Senate must pass it and then send it to the President Trump's desk. And so there you go. Where is there supposed to be a shutdown? I had no idea if there was anyway, but there you go. And ACI is at Albertson. It's a grocery store. And I know Michael Anthony does like this one right here. This kind of curling up, not looking too bad right there. And that's what we have for you guys. So I hope everybody enjoyed that. A couple stories I got to tell you. I didn't even read the news story. Here you guys go. Here you guys go. You want to hear how well I can read? Ready? Here we go. My wife laughs at me. She hears me upstairs. She's like, will you just stop reading the news? She's like, you can't read. I'm like, I think everyone realizes I can't read. And again, I suffered a brain injury. I just can't read anymore. It just doesn't work. My where I got hit, my comprehension doesn't work there. I can't really see the letters or anything, but I give it my best shot. So here you go. You guys can have a good laugh. I try to read the name of the companies because I can't pronounce them. So you guys can get a good laugh. And you guys can laugh at my reading skill because I read like as well as a fifth grader. Actually, as well as a 5-year-old. I think my little guy who's 5 years old can read better than me. I'm not going to lie. So anyway, Japan's core inflation slows in December, but stays above the BOJ goal. And Asian stocks and gold hit records. BOJ stands pat. And these 20 stocks are strong choices for momentum for investors. And TikTok seals deal to create U.S. venture with Oracle and Silver Lake, so that should be one to look at right there. And then our S&P 500 futures are a little changed after major averages advance for second straight day. So there you go with my wonderful reading right there. And that's what we have in our market. So I hope everybody enjoyed that. It is looking pretty good. Honestly, let's go through. I'll show you the SPY and the Qs real quick. They look good today, but they don't look perfect going into tomorrow. I could see a little pullback there tomorrow. You could see your SPY hitting some resistance. Does look like it could come down a little bit. Qs, on the other hand, they don't look so bad, so we'll see. But you do have that red look, and it's still trying to set up. And you're definitely not curling up and going through the MACD tomorrow. So if anything, you're just getting a little curl up action, and then it'll keep itself kind of steady is what it looks like. And your IWM wasn't looking too bad. It was looking a little bit better, as you can see, a little pullback there, and that could continue up. It's getting into the top right there, and that's your indices. So there you go, everybody. That's what the market looks like. I hope everybody enjoyed that little market review. Couple stories there. And Michael Anthony, thank you for everything. And Luis Rodriguez and Laptop Travel, Utah Uties, of course, and everybody else that tuned in. Consistency Spikes, and of course FinViz brought the big crowd with them, so I greatly appreciate that. And obviously I do love FinViz. They are the best. Michael Anthony, and obviously Doge Mama 9, Zach, Robin, Joseph Levy, and Janica, and everybody else that hangs out, tunes in every night. I greatly appreciate it. SoCal Electrical hanging out there, and everybody else there, Xtini. Thank you very much. Be sure to follow along. Follow on X and YouTube. Hit the like button on the show, and be sure to come back at 7 a.m. tomorrow. And then Sunday night, we'll do another show at 8 p.m. Sundays through Thursdays, we do this show at 8 p.m. at nighttime. We go through the market, and then every Monday through Friday, we do our 7 a.m. pre-market show to make sure we're ready. And then I hop on in the Discord around 9:15. We do live trading in there, Ben and I. A lot of times Laptop Travel's on there with us as well, and we do a lot of live trading in there and tell you exactly what's going on. Then we do live trading throughout the day. At the end of the day, look at the earnings and everything else. So we spend a lot of time and make sure that everybody's doing well, and Sam and everybody. And Sam can tell you, Sam's been crushing it in that Discord, and so many people are. I'm so proud of so many people that have literally found this show, And whether you sign up for the Discord or not, whatever, it doesn't matter. But so many people find this show and do so well after finding it, really just get zoned in there, start to understand the market. And again, it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. I tell that to everybody. I've been doing it for so long and I still learn things every day. But you just want to get this skill down to be able to look at charts, get confident with it, be comfortable that you know what you're looking at, and then be confident that you can trade smart and lock in those profits. That's the most important thing, guys. Lock in profits. Do you know how many times I've watched the stock go up 100%, not to sell it, to watch it go lower than what I bought it in for? And you know you're beat after that. It's not going back up. If it just ran 100%, it's not running 100% the next day. Let's put it that. It's very rare. Let's put it that way. What one did it that whatever, that other one that went like 8,000% that time? I can't even think of what it was. What the heck was that thing? Anyway, who cares? But yeah, I even called 8,000 percenters in 10 days. And so there you go, everybody. Greatly appreciate you guys hanging out, tuning in. FinViz, thank you so much. And again, everybody on here, I'm telling you, is thanking FinViz for everything they've done in the last year or so, stepping it up to the next level. It's been absolutely incredible what they've done to the platform. And I won't take any credit. All I did was hit them up and ask them to change the times from 4 a.m. to 8 p.m., a couple other things, and then asked them to do the futures. They went nuts, guys, and just took it and did the platform absolutely amazing. So we greatly appreciate it. It's the greatest platform when you're doing stocks. They're the OG. I mean, they've been around so long. Like I said, they don't have competition because nobody's ever done anything like this. And nobody could figure out, I'm telling you guys, look at this popper. Yeah, you got all these, but nobody could figure out any of these trend lines either, guys. So never tell anybody unless you want to tell me, because I've been trying to figure it out forever, and I just can't figure out how the heck do you get these trend lines in there. I've tried to draw them in, I just don't understand what they are, but they're absolutely perfect trend lines every single time, guys. It's amazing, and they just like automatically go in there. So awesome stuff. Awesome turnout tonight. Thank you, everybody. Be sure to follow the show, like it, and all that good stuff. And all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice, so always do your due diligence. I will see you guys at 7 a.m. I'll put the night note in the Discord, and we'll do our show at 7 to see what the pre-market and our Friday is going to be and how we're going to end the week. So thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your night. Get ready for this snowstorm if you're going to be affected. There's like 30 states going to be affected. I think I'm going to get blasted. I'm right outside Philadelphia in New Jersey, so I think we're going to get hit pretty good. It's what it looks like to me. So I'm always down for a good snowstorm. I love it. So make sure everybody's prepared for that and everybody's ready for Friday's market, and then we'll go from there. So enjoy your night, everybody. Thanks again. Follow along, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Have a good night, and thanks again to FinViz. See you guys at 7 a.m.